It says we're live.
Okay, we're live. Playing traffic. Let's see. It's not Long Island's only automotive talk show. That's what I'm pre-programmed to say. This is the internet's only unscripted, full-fledged, multifaceted automotive tool / food / public knowledge / what's that other thing that's kind of common knowledge is another thing show that you're going to find. And I'm Ray Guarino from Motormouth Radio. This is Matco Man Brian from Matco Tools. And we're waiting on Lewis because he's having a little computer issue tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so.
Man, you must be rubbing something on you.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, the difficulties from Sunday and...
Oh, that.
Yeah, come on, Ray.
Yeah. There's explanations for everything, and usually when something like that happens, it's out of my hands, and it was out of my hands.
Yeah.
It was, and I got yelled at for it. The station manager catches up with me a couple days later and says, this was unprofessional. What are you doing? I said, well, it ended up that there was a button that was pushed. There's like this whole row of top lights. It looks like Star Trek, the Star Trek console, and I don't go near it. And there's a reason why, because I don't really fully understand what they all do. So don't touch what you don't understand. And one of them had been pushed by somebody, I don't know who. And because of that, we couldn't hear Chris's audio. So I explained to him what happened. I said, the real question is, how did that button get pushed? Who did it? And who didn't? Because they do that in the past. They'd use the phone. They do like a sports show, a live sports thing, and they'd use the phone. And they used to do something with it. I think they took it out of the board, and they would never switch it back. I said, people are going to switch things. That's fine, but just put it back when you're done.
Yeah.
And but hey, we recovered. Everything was fine. So
yeah, no, everything was good. And like I said, it's just crazy. So I don't know. I had an incident on the tool truck. Lost all power to the back of the truck in the box.
Okay.
So I had 3 or 4 stops in the dark and realized nothing was charging. So I had to take the back open, look inside, and I had a broken battery cable.
No fooling.
Yeah. So I did a on the side road. Thank God I'm driving a tool truck.
I was going to say you're in the you're in the Lewis Lee zone because he's having some trouble. He can't even stay on the screen. With an alternator.
Come to the light, Lewis. Come to the light.
Man, I don't know what's going on, man. My computer is doing its own thing.
Can we give you some power? I got internet power to spare now. I got mesh networks and all sorts of crazy crap.
Oh yeah, you had a big system put in, huh?
Yeah, it's I don't know if it's going to come around here. Using these guys.
Oh yeah.
That's your satellites.
Oh yeah.
Really cool.
Do you have is that like? Do you have 2 of them, 2 or 3? Are they on like each level or?
Well, what happened? Yeah, I bought the router. It came with 2 satellites, and now I ordered another 2. And yeah, you can just mesh out the whole house. You can put them. Everything.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna go with Starlink because I'm gonna put that in the bus so I can have service anywhere in the desert or wherever.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think I'm gonna get it now. Put it in the house because my service stinks.
So that's satellite based, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Elon Musk sent that over to where they're fighting. What do you call it?
Turkey. I was just looking on the computer. Yeah, Ukraine.
Yeah, Ukraine. Okay. Yeah, if it weren't for that, man, they'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
So, alternator.
Yeah, you guys are in the same boat here. Well, similar boat.
Oh, yeah, I had no power in the back of the truck. So, and actually it was kind of funny because like 2 days before if I didn't have the truck running, the lights would like strobe. It was like a strobing effect going on. And so after like I said, got to one of my stops, I pulled everything out, started looking, and I actually had a broken battery cable wire.
Oh, yeah? So you're running, your inside stuff is all 12 volt, correct?
It's 6 volt.
Oh, 6 volt. Okay.
Yeah, it's 6. It's 2, 4. Is it? I think it's 6 volts or something like that.
Wow.
So that gives you the amp hour. I mean, that's I have them now. Like in my old truck, once they're like golf cart batteries. Once they went up, I put in 3 12 volts, and it worked fine. I mean, it's very rare that I let the truck off for a long period of time. So I didn't need the 2 hours and 45 minutes of reserve time, you know.
Right. So what was it, the end of a battery cable that went bad? Was it a connection?
Yeah, it was at the end, and it was where it split from one bank to the other bank. And I'm kind of glad luckily I found it kind of quick, you know, because it's a mess under there, just with all the wiring and solenoids, and I can't remember what those things are called. They keep the flow from going back.
Diodes.
Well, they're stators. I mean, no.
A diode only lets current flow one direction. It's like a valve. It's a one-way valve. Lets it flow.
Yeah, well, these are like solenoid things, and they're part of the charging. It's so that like you can't overcharge from the alternator or when your shore lines were plugged in.
Okay.
I can't remember what those things are called. But there's,
charge controller.
Huh?
Charge controller.
Yeah, I can't. They had some fancy name. But whatever. So luckily I'm in a tool truck and I had tools and sat there and dug around in one shop and found a big enough connector because they're, you know, the studs, the batteries are studded. Found a big enough connector and got the soldering gun out and soldered the tip on, squeezed it down, wrapped it up, and put it back together. So,
nice. What did you squeeze it down with?
In a vise on the truck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you use something like as a point to kind of give it a?
I used the corner of the. I used I had a punch set, and once I squeezed it down, I just smacked it.
Right. Good.
Think what I'm going to do though. I don't know if it's going to be able this weekend. But next weekend, I'm just want to replace all the cables under there.
I gotta say that's one of those times when Harbor Freight is your friend, because they sell a pneumatic crimping tool that I bought for like $59.
Yeah,
and it does everything from like 8 gauge up to O battery.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I have one. I already have one.
You know, you pump it by hand. I mean, you got to put some muscle into it for battery cables. But I tell you, I was looking at that block that goes on the bench that you know, like the guillotine. I thought that was a little unreliable, and it has to be really solidly mounted. I've
got one of those, and we also sell one that you have a ratchet.
Right.
That you ratchet down, and on the old truck, that's what I used, and it was good. But I can't remember when that was. I had I can't remember, but I had somebody that wanted to make a buddy of mine wanted to make cables for his car, for his hot rod, and I went ahead and just ordered one because I figured I know I'd use it and I'd let him use it. So
there's a guy I follow. We've had him on the show in the past. The CE Auto Electric. This guy does some top shelf automotive wiring. He makes cable sets to replace the original stuff, and he does any kind of custom work. In fact, he's the guy who wrote these books.
Oh yeah.
And he's a little bit nuts about it. He's nuts about that stuff the way John is about chassis connectors, you know.
Yeah.
For a car. And I asked him once, like, how do you get those crimps on the battery cables? And he says, well, I have a tool. It's a bench mounted tool. And he says, I can get you one if you want. I'll get it to you for my cost. I was like, wow, okay, well, what'll that run me? I think it was like $900. I was like, whoa, a little bit. I'm not going to be selling these things, so I'm never going to make that money back.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, it's. But he's almost doing production type work. So
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but what's wrong with your alternator? I thought we what was that the Cadillac you rebuilt? I thought you rebuilt
no. Yeah, I rebuilt the one in the Cadillac. That one's working perfect. The Toyota I bought. So I get it running. I changed the brake lines. That was a bear. It's unbelievable how they were stuck up under where you can't get to nothing.
Right.
So I changed those, and I drove the car for about 2 hours. I put new front brake pads on. Drove the car for about 2 hours. The battery light comes on. So I'm riding, me and the wife, and I was like, okay, I wanted to ride it around and see if anything would pop up, and it did. The radio goes off first. I'm like, oh, radio broke. A few minutes later, all the lights on the dash start blinking and flashing. Then I feel it in the transmission. I'm like, oh man, alternator. So I finally get off the side of the road, and my daughter worked right around the corner, so she picked us up. I ran home, grabbed a battery, went back and got it home. So I was running off the battery for probably the whole time, Yep.
So okay, so yeah, we were talking about this earlier today, and I looked up some parts. Parts are available. The thing that the kit's never going to give you, it's never going to give you the two main components. That's the rotor and the stator.
Mm-hmm.
And they can be tested, and they probably don't go bad. Best case scenario, I've seen alternators and starters fail because the brushes just wore so far down, they ground it out.
Yeah.
And literally throw brushes in, that thing will go, another 100,000 miles. But you have the regulator, your regulator, which of course regulates the voltage, and there's a rectifier. An alternator produces AC voltage. That's the thing.
Right.
It produces AC, so you have to get that changed to DC to run the car. So that's what the rectifier does. Rectifier is just a series of diodes. It's called the bridge rectifier, and you'll have 4 diodes.
Mm-hmm.
The alternator is 3 because it's actually a 3-phase AC unit. 3 in a positive direction, 3 in a negative direction, and magic happens, and AC turns to DC. So you could blow and that's how that's like on the older cars. That's how you could tell if you had a bad. The GMs had what was called a trio. It was 3 diodes after the rectifier, and just to protect each leg of that circuit. And if one of them went bad, it would turn the light on the dash. So people are bringing these alternators in, and they would think you got a bad alternator. No, you got a bad 20-cent, diode.
Yeah.
They spend for an alternator.
What year is that, Lewis?
2000.
It doesn't have that's not one with a clutch, right? That's direct drive.
Yeah, too early. Way too early.
Yeah.
Those the declutching alternators now, that's a whole nother series.
Because they'll go bad and you'll just be free spinning and you're not really charging.
The alternator is fine. It's just the clutch, and they do that for fuel, for fuel economy.
Right.
To actually have that much, any little bit of less drag they can put on the engine, they adds to the fuel economy.
Right.
Yeah. Is that an automatic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The alternator is $175, but that kit that Ray found was $39. So
yeah, it's good. I saw after I found the kit, I looked at some of the other sites that was selling the alternators, and I saw them for like $269, which even, makes me choke, but it's not uncommon these days to see that.
Yeah, because back in the day, especially with the manual transmission, if you got it spinning fast enough, sometimes they'd start charging. And that's like on the German cars. You could have you'd have a bad alternator, but it would never show up because they would be going, higher RPM would create and it would start charging.
It depends where the fault is. It depends what happens.
Now it sat for probably 2 years.
the thing to do is take it apart, and before you take it apart, take a punch with a point on it, and put a mark on each of the cases, the front and the back half of the case, and the stator. So when you put it back together, you know where they all line up.
They all line up.
You don't do these things all the time. Any little help you get, or you can even use a Sharpie marker if you're not going to paint the thing. Just mark it.
Yeah.
Take pictures.
Right. Pictures.
Listen, that's what I do when I take interiors apart, man. I have like 50 pieces for one seat, and I'm like, oh man, where's this piece go?
Yeah. Take a picture. Or at least you won't be like me trying to find a old publication someplace, a black and white picture in a magazine, and you're just like trying to look to see how this thing went or which direction it went.
Right. I mean, it could be you could actually get lucky, and maybe the brushes just got gunked up and they're stuck in the brush holder and they're not touching the rotor. The copper. I will show you what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was working when they parked it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you might be right. It might just need cleaned up. And
this is a rotor out of an old GM alternator.
Mm-hmm.
But the back half of the shaft has been cut off, so it could be a desk weight. But the back half of this shaft had the shaft with threads on it, and that's where the nut and the fan. On this end, this is the commutator right here. So there's a brush that'll ride on each one of these copper babies.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is heavy. This is what I call the hand grenade. This thing it's got some weight to it. They don't typically go bad. Anything can go bad, but usually, you look at the copper on here and you clean this up with emery paper. But the brushes touch this. And if there's gunk in here and the brushes aren't touching it, you're not going to get conduction.
Yeah, I got one too, Ray.
Hey, wait a minute.
And mine hasn't been cut yet. This one here this is one from the tool truck that I said I was going to rebuild and have ready, and it's just been sitting here looking at me.
Do you have an armature for a starter?
I could probably dig one up if you give me a couple minutes.
Yeah,
you guys are battling.
Yeah. But do you have one of these?
Yeah. Now this one I'm having difficulties trying to press that thing through for the front bearing. That's what's wrong. That's what's wrong with the front bearing.
Yes,
it's bad.
I reckon I've rebuilt those with the internal fans,
and it has like a bearing plate on the inside that has
that captures the bearing.
Right, it has two small.
Damn it! I'm looking at that right, and I remember that alternator. I'm trying to think. All right, who made it?
It's like I said, I tried to press it through, and I can't get it to.
That's a foreign alter. Is that a Mitsubishi part?
Well, this one is off the Isuzu, but this is a GM alternator.
Really?
It has the other plate had a GM number.
Okay.
And the other one, I had another one that I tried, and I destroyed the cover.
Okay. Do you have an arbor press?
Yes.
Use the arbor press. Hit that in there with some penetrant. Let it sit, and then you need something round that you could put that rotor will fit inside and brace
inside
it.
Here.
No, from the other side. You want to brace that, and then you're going to push on the shaft. Now I've had those where you push them even with the press, and it pulls the plate. There's 3 screws. It just pulls it right out. Now the front plate is trash.
Yeah. So then I thought, well, if I can get in there and loosen those screws and just let it.
I don't think. Well, if you could, then you'd have to get the bearing through because the bearing is pressed into the plate, and the shaft just rides through the bearing.
Right. Well, then I figured if I had it on the other, then I could pull it out this way.
Right. I follow you. Yeah.
But
I don't know if you can get those screws out with the rotor in place. Can you see them?
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can see them because they're there. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see them. I just don't know how.
You could also heat the plate gently. Not a lot, like not cherry red. Just warm up that plate to try and because the bearing. You can change the bearing.
Yeah, the bearing's trash.
Yeah, so who cares if you heat the grease out of the bearing?
Yeah.
I mean that's usually the type of stuff we had to get involved with if it was a what do you call it? A marine unit. Those things,
Oh.
everything was just stuck together. You just break them and just replace
Yeah.
parts. You know.
So, are you going to rebuild yours, Lewis? Or are you just
I
going to
think
put a new one
so.
on?
Ray found some a company for me. I think I am.
Yeah, I would.
You know, because $170 is a big difference from 39.
And
Yeah.
and truthfully, the two expensive parts, the rotor and the stator,
Yeah.
do go bad. Stators will burn up before rotors go bad, from what I've seen. But even that is, I mean, you could rebuild a couple hundred alternators before you get a truly bad rotor or stator.
Really?
So chances are it's okay.
Yeah.
Hell, I would just throw brushes in it and let it roll.
Well, yeah.
95% of the time, that's all
Yeah.
it is.
The kit gives you brushes, front and rear bearing, and a regulator. You know, just the
Yeah.
expendables.
I'd spin it.
Now,
I'd spin it and see if I mean, if the bearings felt bad or rough.
Mhm.
and the thing is, too, I don't know if that kit, I don't think it gave you a rectifier.
Well, no, I think it did. Hold on.
Okay, good. Because you can check that with an ohm meter. It's just diodes. So you just check. You use the diode setting on a DVM, and you can check if the diodes are good.
That's above my pay grade.
Now, if you got a DVM, it's just literally touching two ends and listen for the beep.
Really?
Yeah, that's it. It's that easy. The stator you can check with it's against three-phase winding. So you put your meter on diode check.
Mm-hmm.
Grab one of the leads and touch the ground part of it. You touch the other two phases, and you touch the ground part. And if you get a beep on any of those, that's bad, because it means there's continuity to ground. Everything on that stator should be isolated from everything else. But the tip off is you look at it and you'll see black. You'll see little, like the coating on the wire will burn first, and you'll see it'll be blackened.
Okay.
Which
It comes with the
some of it-
regulator, brushes, and bearings.
Right. Yeah, it could just be something like stupid, like the brushes. There's a spider web in there, and it just isolated the brush.
I thought it had the GM part number. I know
It's
because when
probably
I
on the
called,
back. It's probably on the back half. Oh, you got the
Yeah.
back half.
I got it. I could have sworn because maybe it was on the one that I took off.
Where's the stator? Where's
It
the
comes-
stator, the rectifier, the regulator, the brush holder?
Yeah.
Where's all the rest of the parts?
Yeah, I don't know. They're sitting up here.
That's not going to help you.
I know.
Yeah, this comes with the brush holder
Put the
too.
back together.
Yeah. But like I said, because when I called, because they have one that has a oil pump on the back. And that's to do something with the turbo or something.
Okay.
And then they had one that they have a smaller one, and then they had the bigger one, which was a GM one.
Is that like a 185 amp or something?
165 or something.
165? Okay.
Now the one that's supposed to be on there is supposed to be like I made a mistake with this one. The first time the alternator went out, I didn't realize, and I got one, walked into AutoZone or whatever, told them I had a Zuzu. They said, yeah, here's one. I put it on the truck, and of course it had like $100 core or something. And I didn't even look at it. I took it off. I threw it in the box, gave it back to the guy. And I didn't realize it was like a 300 amp alternator.
Oh,
wow.
And so it was like a couple days later when somebody was telling me, goes, what did you do with your old alternator? You can send it back to the company. And I was like, oh, I'd turn it in as a core. And he goes, the thing was like 300 amps,
I didn't know
300.
they made them that high.
And I was like, really? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, you should go back and see it. And the guy, of course, the guy's like, oh, well, I don't know where it is. I don't know, And I played around and I was like, damn it. So another one of my buddies, another guy with a tool truck, he had an extra one, and he said, you could just buy this one from me and send it in. It needs to be rebuilt. But his was an older model, and it had a different
bolt.
Well, the ears were different on it because it bolted downward like this way, instead of swinging this way.
Right.
It had a whole bracket like my old truck did that
Right.
put this whole thing in.
So I guess you don't have any rebuilders in your area, huh? Certainly not on your route.
Not on my route. There is supposedly one guy not too far from me, but you know, I don't know anything about him or anything.
Got to go meet him.
Yeah, I know. Well, so the one, knock on wood, hopefully you won't jinx me there, Lewis. If not, I'm coming to Ojai.
Hey,
Yeah.
we'll feed you.
So, but I keep saying I just want to buy. I'll just buy another one. But of course, the way everything is, it's freaking expensive. They
Yeah.
were like
I wonder what
$800 alternators or something.
Yeah, I wonder what the alternator is in my bus. I'd like to put a big alternator on that to back up when I'm driving to do my batteries when I'm driving. Charge my batteries. My house batteries.
Actually, I've thought about putting another alternator on the truck, and I was going to run it off the drive shaft, so that it's charging when I'm driving, and that, you know, either have that recharging the ones in the back versus the front that way. Because like I said, if I had the reserve time, I don't, like I said, it's not too often. The truck's not sitting that long, but in that way,
they're always charging when you're moving.
They're charging when I'm driving. You know, like I said,
I'm just thinking of running off a drive shaft. That's a crappy location. I mean, think of the winter. You know, with snow, rain.
True.
But I was going to ask you.
I know guys have done that though. But.
Yeah, me too. I was going to ask you if you ever done it, because I thought about that too. That'd be easy, because under my hood, you know, getting the brackets all lined up, that's going to be a beast.
Well, what do the motorhome guys do? You know,
I think they have two.
Yeah, I would maybe copy that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you could. I got a guy that has a sub base station off in his big ass Suburban thing, and I think he's running 6 alternators or something like that.
I mean, your bus is big, but as far as electrical load, there's nothing. You know, what do you got? Running lights, and there's really nothing to run. A heater, and that's it. You know, it's
and I'm taking all that out. I'm putting diesel heaters in, so my whole heating system would be out.
But you are increasing the electrical load significantly.
And all of my lights will be LED. So
okay, that's good.
So I'm switching all that out, so I should be good.
Is that a Woody cup?
Yeah.
Thought so. Okay. Yeah, I thought so.
It's
Gotcha.
I'm having a little cup of coffee here.
Nice. Good.
Yeah, so I'm starting to learn a little bit about the solar, so I can get the right stuff, you know, solar panels and the chargers and inverters and all that stuff. But I want to be. I have my generator, so I want to be to a point where I won't be able to fail. You know what I mean? I'll have backups on backups.
Yeah, redundancy. Did you were you able to move the bus across the street?
Yeah. Yep.
Good.
That's good.
Yep. They gave me the thumbs up.
So it's gonna come back with handlebars and like
a
Maltese cross taillight and straight pipes.
So I'm going to take it over there during the week, and then on the weekends bring it home and work on it. Or if I work on it after work, I'll just run over and grab it. That's what's nice, is right across the street.
Yeah.
So I could see it, especially with my scope, I can really see it good.
Right.
My BB gun.
Yeah. So is the alternator easy to get out on the Avalon?
Yeah, it's right up front.
Oh, good.
Well, I'm not going to say it's easy, but I can see it.
Right. Well, that's good. That's half the battle.
Yeah. So hopefully it'll be easy. But yeah, it's sat for 2 years, so I'm thinking you might be right with stuff just might be in there stuck.
Hopefully, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
You didn't hose off the motor, did you? It wasn't like you got because I iced one in the tool truck one time. I had an alternator, and it was from running all day, and I came home and went through a puddle, and about 30 seconds down the road, the battery light came on, and I wasn't charging, and literally the alternator was blue in color from the cold water hitting the hot alternator.
Wow.
And she was fucked after that. That was
no going back.
I was putting the spare alternator on that night. So
yeah, I want to, when I do the bus stuff, man, I want to carry extra alternator and starter, injectors. You know, I'm trying to carry all that stuff, man, because I don't want to be broke down.
Yeah, no, it's no fun. I did that with my Scout with the starter. We were the night before when me and Jenny were dating, now my wife. We had gone down, and it was a sandbar, and you drove down the sandbar, and it was in a stream, and we went out into the water. And I mean, we went out, and this was way before cell phones or any of that stuff. I mean, this is middle of the night, and we go out there, and the water, my Scout had a 13-inch lift. I had 35s on it, and the water was up to the top of where the hood crowns. Ooh. So we were sitting on top of the seats because the water was all the way in. So we were out there and came back the next night.
You didn't think about backing up a little bit, huh?
Yeah. So we're out there cruising around in this stream. So just driving around, lost, and came down.
Look how great my truck is. This truck can do anything.
Well, basically that's how it was, you know. And sound like a little motorboat. The exhaust coming out of the back, you know, because it was completely submerged, you know. So the next day, I tell my buddy, and he had a Bronco, raised up the whole 9 yards, and so we go out there, and we're cruising in the same spot, and we're side by side, and we're in the water, and we're splashing, and everybody's having fun, and all of a sudden, Johnny's truck goes, bloop. And it's gone. It's right off the ledge and into the deep water.
Whoa!
So I stopped and I turned and I climbed up out of the embankment, and I told myself, leave the truck running. Well, the first thing I did was I turned it off. Of course, the starter's filled with water. I mean, there's just water running out of every crevice. Well, I went to go turn it back on, and it iced it. I mean, it was blue. The starter smoked, and that was it. And, of course, now my truck is down, and Johnny's Bronco's out there bobbing in the water. And we're all sitting out there. There's like, you know, I don't know, 8 of us or whatever, out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, this is all before cell phones and everything. Yeah. And I'll never forget, we're sitting out there, and all of a sudden there's these 2 dudes in a newer Isuzu Trooper. And the guy like gets out and locks in the hubs just to drive across the sandbar. And the water on the sandbar was only about like 3 inches deep. And he comes out there, and of course there's 8 of us standing out there like Deliverance. You know what I'm saying? And he like stops and he goes, "Is that a truck out there?" And I'm like, yeah. Man, you got to help us out. Could you drive our girlfriends down to that county store, you know, and let them make a phone call? And they're like, "Oh, okay." And the girls piled in this truck and drove down and called my buddy, and they came out. It took we had like, it was a F700 double boom tow truck to yank all of us up out of the water and dragged us all home. That was a mess.
You know how to impress the girls, I tell you.
Nothing but fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Fun and money.
I seen an FJ the other day that had a snorkel on it. He was lifted up pretty high.
Very common. In fact, there's guys on Instagram. It's like the FJ snorkel posse or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
My wife was like, "What is that thing?" I was like, "It's a snorkel. He can go in the water."
I'll tell you, that truck picks up the air from the top of the right fender. So your hood's got to be buried before you're picking up water. So to need a snorkel, your doors are submerged.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Yeah, I had the old Scout that had a 345 International. It was old school bus. It was an old school bus motor.
Uh-huh.
And we had it, remember that black that black AC tape? It was that, what was that stuff called? I might have a roll around here.
Talking about friction tape?
Yeah, it was black, and they used to use it on the evaporator boxes.
That's like friction tape. Yeah. It was. You could see the pattern in it. It was kind of sticky.
Yeah, it was sticky, and it had like real thick, and it was like aluminum and like aluminum foil on the inside, so it took shape, And we had our distributor cap, everything all wrapped up in that, so it kept the water from getting in. And that's how we had a lot of fun in the old Scout, man.
Yeah,
a lot of
fun. You still have it.
Oh yeah. It's just it's been it's rusting away back into the universe.
Rust in peace.
I would love to do a Jeep just to play around in the mud and stuff, but they're so expensive, man. I mean, you can't touch a Jeep
now. Yeah, everything is.
Yeah, somebody I've watched on a couple of these shows and so forth. I can't remember what, like CJ7 or CJ5 or something is like the same wheelbase as those old Scouts.
Oh,
so people have just taken because the parts are a lot more accessible than when you get into those older Scouts.
Now, let me ask you this: what vehicle do you think makes, or what vehicle has the most aftermarket parts?
Jeep.
That's what I was thinking.
Davidson.
Yeah. I'm thinking Jeep or Volkswagen.
Think of the J.C. Whitney catalog. They had that whole VW section. That's back in the 70s, man. They dedicated to it.
Yeah, I was thinking Jeep or Volkswagen.
I mean, Volkswagen now is probably falling off a little because there's not, now it's a cult vehicle. It doesn't have the popularity. You don't see them on the street like you used to.
Mm-hmm.
But Jeep should do. Yeah. Without a doubt.
Now, when I lived in Florida, they had the Baja buggies, and those things were sweet.
Right.
Man, I'd love to have one of them.
I'll have to wait. What was that? What day was that? Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. At one of my shops, they had a one of those Volkswagen things.
Oh, the thing, yeah.
And it was.
Has one.
It was super, super clean. I mean, that thing had just been redone, and I'll have to see if it's still there. I'll have to take a picture.
There's one running around here too. It's pretty nice. A lady has it.
Yeah.
Yep. Papa Squirrel, they have one.
Yeah, the thing. Yeah, it's green, and the guy had tan. I think it was tan seat or interior. It's really nice. I mean, it's nice looking.
Now, was that vehicle made for the military, or is just?
I think so. I mean, it looks like one of those field cars.
Yeah.
Thing.
Papa Squirrel, no, let's pull him in and see. Papa Squirrel, you want to jump in? Nod. Okay.
There he is.
All right, give us the history on the thing.
Okay, the Volkswagen thing is modeled off the Kuba wagon, which was a World War II vehicle that the Germans made. Mm-hmm. And it was air cooled and everything else, just like the thing. And there's a little bit of difference on the civilian thing compared to the military one, but they were pretty much similar.
Pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close. Now, the one thing about the Volkswagen thing is, you can find parts for it, but you're going to pay.
Yeah, big dollars.
Well, especially most of them are pretty rotted right now. Like ours had a lot of rust in it, and we still haven't gotten it all out yet. And we're not ever going to, because we're just not going to spend the money to do it. We'll just drive around and play with it.
Yeah.
Now, I think the best thing to get, if you can still find them at a reasonable price, is a Toyota four-wheeler from about 82 to, I think it was 84, 85 when they had the straight axle. Because as long as they had the straight axle on the front end, they were the same undercarriage as Toyota had on its Land Cruiser.
Oh, yeah.
They were solid. I mean, I had an 82 Toyota, and I had to give it up because I acquired a wife and a kid.
Inquired.
Yes.
What was the name of it? Forerunner?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It wasn't a Forerunner. It was
Wasn't
just
it like the F40? Didn't they call that or something like that?
Yeah.
The FJ.
It was just the Toyota. The one I got in 82 was the first four-wheel drive that they'd put in a pickup, at least as far as I remember. I just liked it because of a solid front axle, and I chose it because I watched people going up hills in full-size Fords and Chevrolets, and they're running their engines at high RPM, and dirt's being scattered all over where, and somebody had a box stock Toyota pickup, and he just went up the side of the same hill they did. No spinning of tires, no loud noise, no nothing. It just went. But I wished I'd have kept mine because, well, my trouble is I didn't have the money to put a locker in it because I wanted locking axles front and rear. Yeah, now that's the CJ. That's the Land Cruiser. And those are nice and expensive. And they got 10 miles a gallon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine had one. And no matter how careful he was with it, he got 10 miles a gallon. My little Toyota pickup averaged about 20. Now that looks like a...
Right here?
Yeah. I almost want to say the white one is somewhat. I just know mine had a solid...
SR, what is that? SR5?
I guess they called it an SR5. Hell, I don't know. I bought it. It was a Toyota four-wheel drive pickup. It was a solid front axle, and
man, I bet you can't.
The yellow one.
I bet you can't touch one of these now. This one here?
Yeah, probably. I can't see very. Yeah, now that. It almost looks like. Is that a solid front axle?
It's hard to. I don't know.
You can't tell.
Yeah, it's hard to tell on that one. I don't think it is. I haven't priced one lately.
It might be.
Yeah. Damn it! That almost looks like a.
Pretty nice though.
Independent front suspension, and that's one of the reasons why I never bought anything because I didn't like independent front suspensions. I like solid front axles. But they were. You could. When I sold mine about. Oh God! Did I sell that about 20 years ago?
Shut up.
And my wife just said, "Shut up." I sold it for $800. Boy,
wow.
That was bad.
If we only knew.
Well, yeah, if we only knew. Now,
But
if we'd have been better off.
Did know.
Yes, they did.
You know what my problem was? Anytime I wanted to buy something new, I had to sell what I had to get the new thing. You know what I mean? I didn't have the money to keep what I had. So that's where it got me.
I'm finally at the point where I can pretty much keep what I have.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I've got the 2 Toyota pickups and 2 Volkswagen pickups. God. And
Man,
do what?
one of my shops, I got a guy, Caesar. He's got a Volkswagen pickup truck.
Yep.
And he converted it to right-hand drive.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
And he's putting a newer 2-liter turbo Volkswagen motor in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I got some pictures I'll have to try to send or do because it's incredible. He took an extra tailgate, you know how it said Volkswagen?
Right.
And he put that into the he cut that down and put it into the firewall. So when you open the hood up, that you see the Volkswagen.
Nice.
Nice.
And he's but he found some dude in Pennsylvania, I think, that has it's all factory right-hand drive stuff. And he's been putting all that stuff in, changed it all over. He just finally got the rack to do it and everything.
I seen a 78 Cadillac Coupe with right-hand drive.
Wow.
You know, I'm looking at it. I'm like, I thought maybe it was the video. It was just, you know, how sometimes it's opposite, but
yeah,
no, it was right-hand drive. It was pretty
I
sweet.
understand how interesting it is and how cool it is, but I still say why.
I agree with you, Ray. Why?
Just to be different.
You
pull up at the car club and you're like, hey, look what I'm rolling.
I get that, and that's what I understand. But even when you look at it, just the symmetry, you know what you're seeing, and your mind can understand that it's flipped, but it's like a flip negative, and you're like, huh? Glove boxes shouldn't be on the left; they should be on the right.
If you notice in your Cruise, the dashboard is set up where they could be either way.
Yes, I have noticed it's very, and my FJ too is totally symmetrical.
Yeah,
the dash. Yep. Yeah. Now I'll tell you something. There's a little skill I learned. I don't know. I learned it when I was probably 17, but I can be a passenger in your car with the stick shift, and I can shift it with my left hand just as easy as I can with my right.
Really?
And you know what it was? It came from the days like I said, like 17, 18, and my buddy was probably like trying to like open his beer, light his joint, and he had no hands. So I'm like, don't worry, I'll shift, and I'm steering it with my left hand. I just learned how to do that like when I was a teenager.
My wife, when she was over in Germany and that, spent some time in England and got her UC, whatever it is, for driving on the left-hand side of the road.
Yeah.
My problem with that is we've been watching this one cop show that they've got, UK cops, and I'm watching them go off the wrong side of the road, and that'd be my problem. I'd turn on the wrong side of the road.
Right.
They'd have yanked my license and put me in jail.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it either.
And now, as old as I am, I wouldn't even try it.
Yeah.
I did one of those trades where a guy traded me a mail truck. You know, the small mail trucks.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, he had what did I trade him for? I forget what I had. No, I had a motorcycle I traded him for, and he gave me a like an 82 Buick Electra, like a nice one, and he threw in the Jeep, and I used the Jeep to haul chains around for my trucks, through the chains in the back. But it was right hand. It was pretty sweet. I mean, it was all beat up, but it was pretty cool driving it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm in America. I'm going to stick with my normal driving thing so I don't have to think about it.
Well, then again, you're in California, so I don't know if that's. I think John might argue that that's not really part of America anymore. but we'll give it to you. Where you live is okay.
Well, you won't get any argument out of me about California because, my God, they have gotten down in the southern area, down towards Sacramento, San Diego, and places like that. They have just, in my book, they've gone off the deep end.
They're digging farther. my buddy that was on last week, me, Jason, not Jason. Holy shit. Jeremy. He after the show, he hung around a little while. We were talking. And he says, "Wow." He goes, "I didn't know what to expect." He goes, "That's a really cool group of guys." I was like, "Yeah, I told you, Brian." He was dying to meet you because I was telling him all about you for a long time.
Yeah.
He goes, "Yeah, those guys are really cool." He says, "And you guys really speak your mind." I'm like, "Look, John didn't even get warmed up," but he was very appreciative of the whole thing. He was happy to be able to hang out. He enjoyed it.
What I'm finding now is like I'll go somewhere and somebody will know me and they'll say, "Hey, I watch your playing in traffic." I'm like, really? Like
Nice.
I'm like really surprised, and it happens to me a lot.
Nice.
Yep. And I can be out of town or wherever, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we watch it." And I'm like, "Well, why don't you jump in and say hi and stuff?" It's like, "Oh no, we just like watching."
Well, I've had that happen with the radio show a lot. We had last couple of weeks. We had two guys call who they're way upstate, and they said they've listened for a long time. I go, "Why didn't you call? Where you guys been? You've been listening. Why don't you pick up the phone?" "Oh no, there's always a I said, "Listen, you got to, if you really do listen, and I believe you do, you got to see that we don't like turn people away. We embrace unless you're an idiot, we embrace you. We'll make you part of the family. You're not,
Yep.
But if you're a fascinating idiot, we'd probably listen to you just
then
to
we'll
laugh.
listen to you, right? Exactly, because then you fall right into our categories.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people. I'm like, "Hey, we're learning. We can learn from the dumb people and the smart people."
That's right.
Supposedly you're supposed to. Well, might take us 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll get there. Oh man.
So I got actually Jeremy just sent me a text yesterday. He asked me if he knows I do a lot of carburetor work, and he says, "Hey, can you do motorcycle carburetors?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." I said, "As long as you can get parts." I said, "If it's Japanese, I do recommend factory parts, which have gotten a little expensive." A guy, one of the security officers, has a CBR 900.
Yeah.
And he wants the carbs done. So
that was a
I
fast
go
bike
my
back in the day.
back. I got to tell him, "Listen, you get the kits, get the Honda kits. You take the rack of carburetors off and give them to me."
Yeah, they had the 4 carburetors, right?
Yeah, and cross, right?
Right.
Yeah, across the front.
And I will
was a
build
nice
them and
bike.
give them back to you, and you will put them on. Because you know what happens with something like that. You do the whole job, and now the bike doesn't. And I don't know the past of this thing. Now it's like, well, ever since it's the Sinju syndrome. Ever since you touched it, now my blinkers don't work, and now the bike never ran like that. No, you give them to me, I'll rebuild them. You put them back.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna pull what I'm doing to mine.
All right.
Yeah, I found that out too much. That's why I don't like to help friends unless they're really, really good friends that understands mechanics and cars and that. Because too many people say, "I brought this in, and you fix this, and now my turn signal doesn't work."
That's the Sinju syndrome.
Yes.
Sinju did my brakes, now my radio doesn't work. Or Sinju, you did the oil change, now my brakes don't work. Like,
that's why I could never.
Brakes.
That's why I never could have been a professional mechanic, because there are just people that are looking for something to blame you for.
Oh yeah.
Well, it actually goes part and parcel with something we always say on the show, and that's what's the last thing you touched? Because now you got this problem, and I'm getting involved with that tomorrow on a car. And like, okay, what's the last thing you touched? Look there first, because that's the last logical place. The guy at the shop has a Buick, a 68 Buick, bone stock. It's a 350, it's a Skylark, 350 automatic, 43,000 miles. The AC works. The buzzer, the key buzzer works. Everything works. So he asked me a little while ago, he said he wanted to have the carburetor redone, the 2-barrel Rochester. And he was going to go to this place where he got a carburetor for his Chevelle. I said, well, give me the number of the carburetor. I'll do it. What's the big deal? It ends up he's reading, he's reading into my situation. He ended up having this other guy do it because he felt I was too busy with other stuff right now. Can always, make room for a friend. But in the meantime, he also had the car converted to power brakes. It's 4-wheel drum. And now his son has it at the shop, and it's not running right. It's sputtering, it's dying. So we're talking about vacuum issues. Could be the carburetor. I'm like, possibly, but probably not. I start looking at vacuum. There's an issue with the PCV. I said, well, if he took the PCV line off and used it as a booster line, the PC, it's just a big vacuum leak at that point. Yeah, and then I'm thinking about it now, and I talked to him, and I said, you know, this could be this. Think about the Mustang when I worked on the Mach 1. We put a rebuilt booster in it, and after a couple of days, the car started running crappy. Like as soon as you touched the brake, the engine would drop and idle and stall. And it was a bad booster. I said, you know, you don't know where that booster came from that the guy put in the car. You know, so now I got to go over there, and I'm also thinking it's got points in it. So maybe the points closed up in dwell angles. So I'm going to bring a tack and dwell at a vacuum gauge to diagnose it. What do you got, Lois? Oh, that's a Weber, 2-barrel Weber.
Yep.
Is that ADHA?
I don't know. What does that mean?
They use letters to designate the carburetor.
Where would it be?
He'll be back in a minute, Lewis. He's gone to probably go dig one up.
Yeah, he got one next to him. Made in Spain. It's I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's Weber, but
And it's off of your what?
no, I'm gonna take my 4 carburetors off the motorcycle and put this
There'll be
Weber on.
letters on that. They say that's where this comes in. And
it's made in Spain. I know that. What number did you say?
I said I just called out an ADHA because it looks like the one I have on my Fiat, but it could be the letters all mean something. It could be a
DGA.
Oh, could be. Did you say B?
No,
D.
D is in dog.
D did DGA?
Yeah, 33B1.
Let's see, DGV. DGA probably means automatic choke.
33B1. I think I might have to send this to you, Ray, because it don't look like fun.
That looks like it's in really good shape, though.
And look, already got the kit.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let's see. Part 2, Weber Carb, Chapter 7, 32 millimeter bores. DFD, DFE, DFM, DID, DAF, DGV, DFB. DAG, you said?
Yeah.
32 DAG. You write that down.
Wait a minute. Where'd it go? No, I ain't crazy. I seen it somewhere.
It'd be, like I said, it's 32 millimeter bores. They're progressive on that carburetor, so both open at the same time. And you can put that on a motorcycle.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I got 4 carbs on there now, and they pop out of sync, and they're just a problem. So a lot of guys are building new manifolds and putting these on.
I remember.
Okay.
So
because I was wondering how you were going to do that, because I know how the carbs go on normally, but to put something like that carburetor's got to be facing straight up and down. So
yeah, so what they do is they build the manifold with 4 pipes that come out the bottom, and they go into the heads, or not heads. What do you call it?
So I mean, inside of the cylinder, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
in the head.
So guys are saying that they get a lot of power out of their bikes with these, the Yamaha Venture. So I'm gonna try it.
to me, anything would be better than 4 carburetors should play around.
Terrible. They get out of sync, man, and it runs terrible. So I'm gonna go with that. If I ever get to that project, I have to weld up the manifold. It also has a cross pipe that goes into a Cadillac converter, I guess, on this bike. So I'm gonna snatch that off and run straight pipes out of it.
You don't have yearly inspections on your vehicle?
No, we wide open up in Ohio.
Good.
Yep.
Because if you take that off, that'll definitely.
I'm
Yep.
not seeing the DAG come up. DGV is very popular.
Is it? Now I have two of them. I wonder what the other one is. Let me grab the other one.
I'll tell you this: doing a Weber is not the same as a American carburetor.
Here, let me grab the other one.
2-barrel 3236, right? That's a split DGV again. I have a reference here that tells you what all the letters mean. When I was playing with them, I remembered them, but now I forgot them. I think G is literally gas. Weber grills. There you go.
Okay, this one has a tag on it. 72 horse. B-3B10.
Doesn't sound familiar.
But it looks the same. Yeah, it's the same carburetor, I think. It looks the same.
What are any other numbers on that one you first held up?
On the first carb?
Yeah.
11046.
Yeah, that could be a date code.
Then it has a 5 inside a circle.
Yeah. I know what that means.
But the number I told you first is stamped on the side.
Right.
Actually has 32 above that.
That's the bore size. Okay, let's see. They're showing that the carb number is stamped on the base plate on the side opposite the choke.
Yep. That's where I got the number at. It's I think that's a D. Hold on.
D is right, but it's the
DGAV.
There you go. That's it.
33B1.
Okay. A DGAV is that shows as a water choke, but I think yours looked like an electric choke. It means it could have been changed.
Well, this one here, the other one has a different choke.
Hang on, let me make this bigger. That's a water choke.
Yeah.
Okay. So the number on this one looks like D9AV03B.
That's weird. No, I'd go with that first one. Genuine Weber carburetors made in Spain and Italy for the last 30 years will have a Weber logo cast into the body and be stamped made in Spain.
Yep. Both of them do.
Right. The DGAV is a very popular, common carburetor.
So that's the one I should go with, huh?
Now, a lot of them are the same, the 3236, which means it's like a 32 millimeter primary and a 36 millimeter secondary.
Well, I'm going to attempt to put it on my motorcycle and see if it'll roll. Now, I'm also having a problem with the, Ray, you might know this one. It's the boost sensor.
The boost sensor?
Yeah, it goes to it for the timing. Like when you crack the throttle, the suction and it switches over or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Some of the bikes and cars use some crazy systems to advance and retard timing.
Yeah. Yep. So mine is not working. Like when I'm driving it, it feels like it's not running on all the cylinders, but it is. I checked that. Then I changed the plugs. I thought it might be that. I thought it might be wires. I changed the wires. I thought it was bad gas. Changed the gas. So I got on my forum with all the other ventures, and everybody jumped on and said that it was this booster,
Right.
Booster sensor. So I bought one off eBay, and it came and it was cracked.
Oh, great.
So they don't make it new anymore. So I'm kind of leery of buying one off eBay again.
There's no workaround for it. There's no way to.
I can't find it anywhere. I can't find anybody that knows the workaround. So I got to get back on and see if somebody's done it, or if I can find one off a newer bike, maybe where I bought a new part.
You know, with the Japanese bikes in those years, they would always experiment with stuff. And what you see on one model, you may not see it the next year or in the next version. They just did away with it altogether. So it became,
Yeah.
It's just married to that year range of bike or engine class.
Yeah. So I'm going to do a little research and see how many volt it pulls and all that, and see if I can cross-reference, maybe find it on a different bike.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what's bad.
That's like the thing that Ford used to use, the ignition amplifier, and they would always go bad, and you have to, you always try to find another one, but the ones you'll find were just as bad as the ones you had.
Yeah. And they don't make it new anymore, so
yeah,
might do some duct tape and wire ties.
See, a lot of stuff with bikes now becomes legacy, and then once it's, once that bike is out of production, there's no reason for them to follow up on it, so it just becomes orphan.
Yep.
I
was hoping I'd maybe find old new part. What do you call it? Old part, new part,
old new stock.
Yeah,
new stock,
NOS, new old stock.
But I'm out of luck. I've been searching for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, you've been looking at at dealers.
Yeah, I called a couple dealers, and they said that they don't even list it.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, like I would hit it through the venture through those guys too. Like they would have inroads too. They know who's got the parts and who's got stuff. So they would hit those guys up.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Because I'm ready, man. When my wife says you need to get the bike on the road, that means it's time to get the bike on the road. She's ready to go riding.
Hate to say, you may have to go to the American side soon and get something you can work on.
I know, man. I hate to do that. I'm trying to not spend money. You know what I mean?
I know.
But I might have to.
I got a couple of friends who run with the old Japanese bikes, and they're great. I love the older ones. I would love to have a KZ1000 or Z1R. I would love to, and those you could probably find the parts for. But once you started getting up into the late 80s and 90s, and they started doing things like that, like vacuum ignition controls and stuff.
Yeah.
Now it's orphan territory.
I had an 80 KZ1000.
Yeah.
And it was a monster.
That's like having a small block Chevy.
Yeah, it still run with the new bikes. You get there a little slower, but it'll walk them down.
And it won't handle quite as nice, and the braking won't be quite as strong, but it's still a great bike, and you can do anything to it.
You can ride a wheelie until all the oil runs out of it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Don't ask how I know this, but you can go a long way with no oil.
See, the earlier bikes up until the late early to mid 80s, any of the bikes prior to that, you could do anything you want. You can still get parts for them. You can do whatever you want. Once you hit the mid 80s and they started screwing around with them, now it's tough. It's hard.
Those KZs are real expensive now. They've been expensive because everybody loves them.
Yeah.
Nelson has the remake of the KZ.
Oh, I know the Kenny Lawson one, right?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, that's a nice.
Looks just like it.
Yeah, I know.
He sent me a picture. I'm like, oh, you bought an old KZ? He's like, no, it's new.
When I first saw that bike when it came out, I looked at him like, oh shit, look at this thing. Somebody restored it. But then I caught the radiator. I'm like, oh, something's going on here. And
they sure did.
They
did a good job.
Beautiful job.
I like the way they really made it look like the old bike. Why don't Chevy come out with a Chevelle that looks just like the old Chevelle?
Yeah, I mean,
what I mean?
If they got to anything retro was the Camaro, but
No, Chevy would come out with the Vega before they'd come out with the Chevelle.
Yeah. But they have the plans. Just put a new modern drivetrain in it. Use the same body. You know what I mean? They probably got rid of all that stuff, all the dies and tooling and all that stuff.
Sure.
But that'd be pretty sweet if they really came out with the old body.
Well, you think of it, if you took something like a Cruise, I mean, that could be like a 7/8 scale Chevelle.
Mhm.
You know, you have to make a 2-door out of it, though. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, drop the old body. They got the plans. I'm sure they got the schematics.
Yeah,
Build the car, have somebody stamp it out, and put it on a new body or new drivetrain.
well, knowing that the manufacturers, they scrapped all the panels, they got rid of the tooling, everything was just like.
Yeah.
But aftermarket is stamping out quarter panels and fenders,
Yep.
So somebody's doing it.
Yeah. What did you call it? PR or what's it called? PR or
No.
bless you.
Well, there's a lot of companies who are doing it. Like, I bought a Goodmark fender, which was a restamped fender, which was really nice. But you may be thinking about like Dynacorn. They're making the bodies,
Yeah.
the older bodies.
There's a company here local that's doing bless you. That's doing Mustang bodies here in my town. Or not in my town, but like in the neighboring town. But I never can catch the guy. He's never there.
Yeah.
I'd like to catch up with him and maybe get him.
They did like what was that movie from Gone in 60 Seconds? The Eleanor. They were doing the 67, 68 fastback bodies or whatever.
Chip Foose was on that team to get that first one done.
Yeah.
Yep.
A friend of mine who listens to the show, he's a retired auto crimes cop, and he sends me a link the other day. You gotta check this show out. You gotta, he watches Vice Grip Garage, but it was the show that Terry was on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, listen, dude. I said, Terry. I said, the LS guy. I said, he's a friend of mine, man. Come on, I know this guy. He's like, oh man, he sounds like he's really cool. I'm like, yeah, he is. So he's been in the studio with me. He's like, I didn't know that. Pay attention.
Yeah. You know what drives me crazy is people will be talking to me and I'm like, well, I was there. And it's like,
Right.
what do you mean? And I was like, you don't watch. Nobody pays attention to your post or stuff you put on YouTube. And I'm like, it's all on my channel.
So you felt like Biden when Obama was in the room,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Your closest friends don't know what you're doing.
Mine either. Mine don't either. You know what? Oh, hey, you still doing that radio show? Yeah.
Yeah, it's been like 8 years, 10 years.
Yeah, I said, what? I got more guys that listen to that show that I've never met in my life who like know more about me than you do now.
Yep.
That's
sad, ain't it?
How?
Well, I started my next roof raise.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah.
Yep. It's about to go up.
Nice.
I gotta get it ready for when I paint the bus. I'm painting this one at the same time.
Sure.
Yeah, I had I just started stripping down a 55.
Oh, nice. Okay. What are you gonna do with it?
Remember the model what was it, Badman?
Badman,
Was the
yeah.
yellow? Yeah.
Yellow with the red stripes.
Yeah, that's I want to make one.
You got to meet my friend Jeff the glass guy. He does auto glass, but he can't sit still. He builds a lot of models and he customizes everything.
Yeah.
He puts 2 models together, Frankensteins them. He builds stuff that was never created. Like he took a flatbed model but put a 55 Chevy cab and nose on it, like from a car, and it looks great.
Yeah, I Googled. Well, actually, I built like, I guess when you had Steve on, and I built like, that was like my favorite model to build when I was a kid. I must have built like 20 of those models, and of course you can't find them now, or if you do, you're paying an arm and a leg for them.
Speaking of models,
and So I was looking on eBay for one, and somebody had taken a Hot Wheels and made one of those cars.
Mm-hmm.
So I said I could do that. So I started.
Nice.
Uh,
Now I've been seeing a lot of guys on Instagram that's doing lowrider cars.
uh-huh.
They're a little bit bigger. I don't know what scale it is.
1/24 scale, probably.
Yeah. But they're doing the lowrider stripes and everything. How are they getting the pinstripe that small?
Well, like I said, I found a guy on eBay. He had all those decals. He had all that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Speaking of models, Lewis.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It's the Revell.
I had that same windshield.
I actually built it.
Oh yeah.
It's falling apart. There's the fairing.
I had that fairing, that same fairing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I had to sell it to get my car. So
Right.
you know how that goes.
Right.
So yesterday when I was out working, wink, wink, looking, checking my die cast, they had the new muscle, and it was a 55 Nomad.
Oh, nice.
And it's got a gold flake. And this is so
put that in my box.
I only got one.
No,
sorry.
No, you can't have it.
I was gonna say, do you buy two at a time?
It depends. Sometimes my normal number is 3.
Mm-hmm.
I usually buy, if I can get 3. Sometimes you can't because some of them are, either super limited or chase pieces unless you find them.
Explain the logic behind 3.
1 to open, 1 to trade or sell, and 1 to keep in the package.
That's a true addicted collector. That's exactly the way you should do it.
Because I the other day, I don't know if it's on this. Oh, it's over on the other side. Shit. I made the mistake, and luckily I have another one. But I opened one of the Hot Wheels, and it was a Super Treasure Hunt, which are kind of scarce to find. And I was like, well, I'm glad I still have another one that hasn't been opened yet. What did Ray bump himself off?
Oh, did he?
He's not there.
Oh yeah. Device. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Go. Yeah, I was touching stuff. I hit the camera cable. Just like
you haven't learned not to touch.
Like I showed you this, my daughter got me this for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
And it's it's a sealed. It's got plastic on it, and it's got a flip ring. So there's a Ratfink doll in there, and I'm dying to take them out.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, I only have one.
Here's these are, we used to sell these are pretty old, but these were Ratfink.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's on a skateboard, and as you see, it's got a Hemi or a 4. This one is a this one says a 6-pack. Yeah, it says it has a 6-pack on the motor.
Okay, that's cool.
But it's a skateboard, and it's got a shifter ball handle you plug in.
Yeah.
So
neat.
Yeah, I was, like I said, cleaning out, moving stuff around, and I came across.
You never know what you're going to find.
Huh?
You never know what you're going to find.
Oh, I know, dude. It's pretty crazy. And then I found
Matco had the Thursday drop day, that super small driver gun. It looked really cool. It was green.
Yeah, those are discontinued.
They just announced, they just dropped it today like it was brand new. It came out on there like that on the feed. They it was like they sent a link to it.
Yeah, they only have, well, I don't know how many. I guess they're cleaning out the closet.
I like it. It was nice. It was nice and small. Very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
That's a model.
That is a model, yeah.
Yeah, those are 124 scale.
But this one, I mean, it has some stripes on it, but I've seen them where they really had some stripes on it.
Yeah.
Like the big boy cars. Let me see. I can find a good one. I seen one the other day. I thought it was a real car. I'm looking at him like, oh, wow, look. Then
I guess they can leave you can print stuff really, really tight. They print
there's like I said, there's a couple of guys. That's like
look at that 67 Chevy. That was cool.
Because that's like this.
Yeah, that
I mean,
green one on the left with the red and yellow.
Oh yeah, right here.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's like this lowrider here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 64 Chevy?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that looks funny. That's a Monte Carlo.
Yeah, but look at the paint. That they painted that.
Yeah. That's crazy. I have a friend who look at that, he's got the jumper. He used to pinstripe Matchbox cars.
Really?
Yeah. And I think he took a regular pinstripe brush, but cut it down to like two or three hairs, and he would pinstripe the Matchbox cars.
That'd be pretty cool.
There you go. That's like what Brian just had in his hand. Brian, check this out.
Oh yeah.
I love it with the chains, the limiting chains.
Yeah, those are lock-up chains when you want to go three-wheel motion.
Yeah. That's cool. With 13-inch tires.
Yeah.
Oh man.
They just had a, I think it was, I don't know where it went. They just had a new release on, I think it was 58? No.
I found a 77 Caddy van, but they wanted like $60 for it. I ain't paying $60.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably should because I should, but yeah, here go one right here. This is a 77, like mine.
Nice. Continental kit.
Yeah.
Landau roof. Nice. Big sunroof.
Yep. Same car, but that's a 79 though.
Looks like the headlights are on.
Yeah, don't it?
Yeah.
I found one and it was like $60.
Right. That's cool.
Even if I could find one that I can build, start from scratch.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's incredible, man. There's a lot of artists in this world, man, that's doing some incredible stuff.
They just did another lowrider in the regular line. It must be over on the other side, but this one's the hot one right now. Everybody's trying to find this one. It's a Target edition, and it's a square body.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And this one right now is everybody's trying to find.
What is something like that worth?
These are going for about $5 or so.
They're hard to find, though, huh?
They're hard to find, real hard. And I picked this one up because I thought it was kind of cute, but it's Opel Cadet.
Oh wow. Yeah, an Opel, sure. That's cool.
Now you got me looking at cars when I'm in the stores, and I'm like, "Well, which one are the hot ones? I don't know which one to get."
Don't buy it for that. Just buy it because you like it.
I buy it because I like it. Now,
Okay.
of course, I do. I do go after some of the chase pieces, and like this one here. I'll show you. This one will be easy.
Now I started collecting the homies. You ever see the homies? The little
No.
they were in the bubblegum machines.
Oh yeah.
And they're Mexicans from California. It's the lowrider scene.
Nice.
And man, I got so addicted. I was going around to all the Dollar Trees buying them out of the machine.
And in the world of Hot Wheels, they have what are treasure hunts and they have super treasure hunts. Okay, and this would be a regular treasure hunt here. Okay, and you can see in the corner, you see the little flame?
Yeah.
That's a treasure hunt.
So how do you know that? How do you find that out if you didn't know that?
Well, all you gotta do is Google treasure hunt, and it tells you. And also, you can't see it on this particular package, but under the car it says that it's a treasure hunt. Okay, but the ones with the flame. Now this is a newer. This is out of a e-case. This is 22. These are back in the day. These were what you searched for or hunted for. They used to have real rubber tires and a Spectra Flame. This is Spectra Flame paint, the metallic type paint. Now, so then they made these, and of course, how everybody cries about not having enough. They started making more of this particular, and then they went into a super treasure hunt, which is they have a TH on them instead of the flame.
Now, is the flame on the package or on the car?
It's on the flame is on the car. See, let me see if I can get it.
I saw it before. So what does that mean in the scheme of things? It's just
that, well, it's like production of like it depends 2% or 4% of the production of
and how does that affect price?
Quite a bit, because like on a super treasure hunt, they usually run. I mean, a super treasure hunt can go for some of them go for $100.
He's got a zoot suit on.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I think those type of things that get you in a lot of trouble now.
That's cool.
Especially with the Air Force, because they've gotten all touchy-feely.
He is zoot suited up, man. That is cool stuff.
They have like all the different styles. Like they got the painters, they got the body guys, they got the weightlifters, all the Mexican culture.
Yep.
And they got like the whole kits, the whole towns with lowrider cars, and they started selling these in the bubblegum machines.
Yeah.
And it got real big. I got posters. I got a whole bunch of them. It was pretty neat.
And then, like, see, this is the G case. This is the newest one. Now, this is a treasure hunt.
Oh wow.
And I don't know. Like I said, they're pretty big. You can't see the thing, but it's like I said, I don't particularly care for this, but if somebody that collects them see, I use this for a trade or sell. This would go. Yeah. This is usually about just a couple of bucks.
So, what network are you hooked up in that you could find a trade for that?
Well, I do have a few guys locally that are in. I try to stick that way. I try to stay away from some of that Facebook and Instagram stuff, because some of those guys are. I mean, you just got the whole headache. I don't need a headache. I just,
right.
Some guys, it's actually kind of funny. I always kind of laugh at the guy that thinks he's going to make $1 million off of it, and they jump into it trying to make a lot of money. I mean, I do it because I just, like I said, I like it, and in general.
Have you ever thought about taking some of the ones that are like, the ones you really don't care about, and putting a couple of rails up in the truck and just hanging them up for sale?
I've done that. I mean, I don't actually. A lot of the Japanese cars are pretty good, movers.
Yeah.
The right now, anything Datsun, like now these are premium. These have rubber wheels base, and these 510s.
Yeah.
All that stuff. This stuff is.
I had a pretty one of that.
These are pretty big bucks. It's kind of crazy.
I got a couple of Datsun AFX cars.
Yeah,
you don't see those too often.
But like I said, all my. See, these are all try 55s and all my gassers.
Right.
Nice.
And someday when your daughters have little kids, the kids will be playing with those on the floor. They'll be
well, you know,
all stuff Grandpa left behind. Look, we're playing with these now.
I know it's funny because well, you saw in that one video. I need to take a picture, or I'll have to do the broadcast from my pool room. But I have all those cars. You know, I have all three walls are covered from ceiling to floor. And cases, and every time somebody comes by that brings a little kid, they just stand there like smudged up against the plexiglass, and like, I just want to touch it. You can't touch it. Don't, you know. So
I think it's pretty cool how all of a sudden these 911s are popping up in TV and movies on stuff I'm watching on TV all over the place now.
Yeah, those older 911s in it. Yeah, that orange one that you sent was the same one they were pulling that motor out of.
The one on Adam 12.
Yeah, on Adam 12, and then the one.
I don't know if that was the same one. No, I think the one they were pulling the engine out of was that orange or was that? I'm thinking it was.
I don't know. I looked at the picture. It looked like it was the same car.
The orange one from just the other day.
That was from.
He pulled this woman over who's a speeder, but she was like a princess driving a Jag. And she had that car delivered to him as a gift.
Yeah,
and it was brand new.
So I even so of course I still have my old one. This is when I was a kid, the old Carrera 2 here.
Oh wow, yeah. This
one. I mean, it money wise, it's worth a few bucks. Unfortunately, it's been played. I mean, it's
Yeah, well, it was used.
It was these need actually kind of more than anything. I have a whole bunch of my original ones. I got a shop that had the guy doesn't have any interest in it. He just bought it because it had cars in the case, and it's in the waiting room of his shop.
Right.
Just related, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I bought this at a flea market," and it was like the guy wanted like $400, and I gave him $300. He goes, "Man, I can't believe I spent that much for toy cars." And I was like, "Well, let me look at them." I go in there, and I'm like, "Well, there's 3 of them in there that are worth over $500."
Wow. But I'm not going to tell you which 3.
I'm like, man, maybe if he doesn't even care. I'm like, maybe I'll just take like one of my other ones and just kind of slip it in,
Wow.
I'm like, he goes, yeah, I got another one. I bought another one, but I thought just having 2 up there on the wall just didn't look right. And I said, well, where's the other one? Why don't you bring it on up here and we'll work a deal out, trading for tools or something.
Nice.
Yeah, you might get lucky.
Cool. Oh, that video clip I grabbed off the TV the other day, Brian. Were you able to hear that? Were you able to hear the audio off of that?
The one with
it was when the guy pulls it. Actually, it was John Dean. He comes to pick up his Porsche, and the guy was working on it.
Yeah, no video.
You didn't get the video.
No, I mean I got the video, but no audio.
No, it was kind of low. It was kind of low. It was kind of cool because the Uncle Jesse guy was saying how John Dean was kind of amazed the guy could fix it. He goes, "Oh, the other guy couldn't fix it." He goes, "Listen," he goes, "It's just a car." He goes, "It's it's Germany." He goes, "But it's all in the name. It's Porsche." It means you gotta be like in the zone.
What's up, gentlemen?
Hey, where are you at? Where the sun's still up?
Yeah, really.
I'm in Cali.
Cali.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Wow.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, what's it called? I'm at a wedding rehearsal.
Okay.
Nice.
You got
Not
something
yours,
else?
obviously.
No, it's nice out here. I like California. It's nice.
What part of the state you in?
Discovery Bay, I think it's called. It's near Brentwood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I flew into Sacramento, so I'm staying with my brother. So we're just having a good old time. He's getting married, so and little boy here.
Hey,
All
buddy.
right.
Look at that.
So we're having a good old time, man. But I just wanted to chime in on you because we just got done with the wedding rehearsal. I was like, oh man, it's time for like playing in traffic. Can't miss it.
Good, man. Appreciate you.
Now, but I gotta get back in there and get something to eat because they have taco night here.
Oh, you better go eat.
But I just wanted to let y'all know I'm thinking about you guys, man.
All right,
hey, stay safe out there, bro.
I try, man. All right, take care, everyone.
All right.
All right, take it easy. Special guest, Terry. Look at that.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm gonna jump off though. I gotta go to bed so I can make a check tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Take care of business.
I'll let you guys know what's going on with my alternator situation.
Yeah, keep us up on that. I'd like to know.
Keep us updated on that.
I think I'm gonna try. You guys make me confident.
Yeah, well, you can do it. I know you can do it.
And figure it this way: if you fuck it up, you can always trade it in.
Yeah. As long as it looks like it's put together, right?
So it's missing a few internals.
Yeah, right.
They won't see it.
It's like getting an operation. It's like, to lift a few things out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'll see you next week.
All right, Lewis. Stay cool.
I have guys that want to come on, man, but they just so busy. Now I think because the weather broke. You know what I mean? Everybody's getting real busy.
Yeah.
So, we'll get to my own, but I appreciate you guys every week, so it don't matter.
All right, Lewis.
No problem.
All right, guys. See you later.
All right.
Later, Lewis.
See you.
And this was the last set of the Fast and Furious.
Oh, okay.
So they had a Lightning, and then they had the Regal, the GNS.
Right.
I can't get off.
This one's real popular. That's the 77 Trans Am.
Oh yeah.
And this one, well, actually, this one's everybody's the SS Nova, the 70.
Okay, sure.
And the wide body 68 Charger, the one with the motor in the back for the movie.
You got them all.
Yeah, I was actually kind of crazy. I walked in and the guy just put a case out. So I don't know. Like I said, terrible thing.
Well, you could be into drugs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then this is a chase piece right here. That's one in the case. It's the racing.
Right.
This one was actually kind of funny because I had another guy. He saw me, so he picked up the pace to get down there, and he was flipped. They had just put the 5-packs out, and he was flipping through them all, and he said, it's not there. And I was like, what? And he goes, the race set. And I said, it's okay. I'll find it. I said, it's not the end of the world. And so I walked down the aisle and I turned the corner and they had a display case out with those in it.
Wow, nice.
So I picked it up. I said, is this what you're looking for? And he goes, son of a bitch, what was that? And I said, there's a whole bunch of them over here. But, of course, it's only one in the case. I mean, one in the pack. So he was all bent out of shape. So even being a turtle, you can still get the prize.
Right.
I said, you look kind of funny running through the store. A grown man running to get to the toy part.
Right.
So
I only do that for ammunition.
Yeah.
That you ain't lying on that one, Papa Squirrel.
Matter of fact, I hate it. Walmart's quit carrying ammunition now.
Really?
Yep.
They've gone all politically correct or whatever.
Or they're trying, yeah.
Well, they're trying, but still, it's just
I had a gun store downtown on Thursdays that was one next to one of my shops, and I don't know. I guess it was probably before the pandemic, so it was. I don't know how long it was. maybe a year or two before the pandemic started, I told myself, I said, Brian, you really need to go in here and just buy something, buy ammunition, just whatever, whatever they have, if it's 9mm, 45, because I got a rack of gun, a rack of ranges of guns,
Right.
So I just started going in and I'd buy, what do you have this week, guys? And they'd say, whatever. And I say, just give me 2 boxes, and I did that. And for, I guess, about 2.5 years, every Thursday I'd buy something. And then they closed up, which kind of irked me. But
now, in your state, do you need to show ID to buy ammo?
no.
I do here.
Yeah. No.
I got to show.
Unfortunately, so do we.
I got to show, a gun license, not just ID. I got to show that I have a firearms license.
Yeah.
No, not here, or not at the moment yet. But so I was like, of course, I'm like, man, I got a lot of ammo. But I guess, when the shit really does hit the fan that time, I guess I'll be glad that I have it all.
Yeah.
We had a lot of ammo, but every time we go out shooting, which hasn't been often, we go through a couple of 100 rounds at least each.
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah, Molly is going in. She law enforcement type stuff, and she called me the other day and she goes, I got a homework assignment. And I was like, okay. And she goes, we got to go to the shooting range. They want me to go shooting. And I was like, okay, just let me know when you're ready to go.
Now, that's a hell of a homework assignment.
Yeah.
What do they need her to do?
It's just one of those extra credit things.
Okay.
Go, she's in, forensics of firearms and so forth. It's kind of weird having a conversation with your daughter about the speed and velocity of bullets and spray patterns velocity of grenades, and it's kind of interesting conversation.
Yeah.
And so
go into a restaurant, sit down in a booth,
in a public place,
and start talking about spray patterns and and just watch how many people are going to start looking at you strange or leaving.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm like, I told Molly, I said, for a good-looking chick, you're not supposed to be talking about stuff like that, and it's kind of intimidating, I guess. But she's funny.
Anybody that's going to be intimidated by that conversation needs to stay away from her.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm hopefully, like I said, I'm trying to hopefully she gets in the right direction on that, and because she's good at it. So
I'll tell you it was a few years ago, I guess. I was renewing my license, and I had to get it notarized. And I went, I needed new pictures too. So you had to get, passport pictures.
Uh-huh.
So I went to a little shop. This is a while ago. And the woman would do passport pictures. I said, yeah, I need a, passport picture. She's okay. She's going to do 2. I said, no, I need 1. No, we always do them in 2. You need 2 for a passport. I'm like, all right, well, let me tell you the truth. I said, I don't actually have a passport. I need it for something else. What do you need it for? I need it for my gun permit. And then she looked at me like, ah! And the same thing happened when I had to get something notarized. And I told the lady, I need this notarized. And she looked at me, she goes, well, what is this for? I'm like, what is this for? It says everything right on it. I said, well, it's for a gun permit. And again, she was like horrified. I'm like, listen, all you got to do is witness my signature, put that stupid seal on, and I pay you the money. It's like, that's what you're being paid for. You're not being paid to comment. I don't need social commentary.
That's because you're in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we have to go to the sheriff's substation. which is great because the lady that runs well, you might as well say she runs the substation, Julie. She's got concealed carry permit and everything else. Matter of fact, she sold us a Smith & Wesson 500 4-inch barrel.
Oh, wow.
Well,
4-inch.
4-inch.
Yeah.
That is not something you hold with one hand.
No.
That's called the Judge, or what is that thing called?
No, it's not even called a Judge. It's strictly the Judge is something else.
That's a cannon.
Well, that 500 is.
Yeah.
It's actually, it was designed for brush pilots and that for shooting bears
Yeah.
when they're trying to come into the plane. And as one of the guys that we talked to, I can't remember where it was, he said, yeah, it'll deafen you. Yeah, if you hold it one hand, it'll make your wrist really hurt bad. But he said, if you've got a big, God damn it, bear coming at you, and you're in your plane, he said, and you stick it out the window and pull the trigger, you're not going to notice the noise of the recoil.
Right.
So we had to get it because it's a gee whiz,
Oh, yeah.
you know. And even my wife can't fire it with one hand.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Now she can fire the one we got with the 8-inch barrel with one hand. Dirty Harry style. She just brings it down on the target and pulls the trigger and does headshots. So if I'm ever a hostage, she's going to shoot the bad guy.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be right there. And as soon as she's got her pistol pointed at him, I'm going to kind of duck to one side so too much of the blood doesn't get on me. Because I trust her because she's that good a shot. From 15 yards, headshot all the time.
I did this to a few of my friends. I have a 6-inch barrel 44 Magnum.
That's a handful too.
And you can't shoot that thing. I have wood presentation grips on it, and with the wooden grips with Magnum loads, that thing just twists out of your hand.
Oh yeah.
We got to run hogs on it. But what I did is I put, my friend Kevin's an experienced shooter. I put 3 44 specials in it. Well, I put 4 44 specials in it and 2 Magnum loads. So he's going to shoot the rack of 6. And he's like, boom, boom. He gets 4. He gets the 5. Boom. And the gun, like, what the? He puts the gun down. What the hell was that? I said, oh. I said, just must have been a little bit of a hotter load. I said, yeah, mix. I said, you got one more shell left. You might as well take your last shot. He's like, oh, okay. Picks it up. Now he's sights and he breathes. Boom! Puts the gun down. What the hell is that?
I got to shoot a box of 44 Magnums because one of the guys that I worked with at Mountain Home, Idaho, when I was in the Air Force Base, had been given a Thompson Contender 44.
Thompson, yeah.
Nice barrel. He was scared to shoot it because all these visions of, it's going to break his hand and everything else. So I had a lot of fun. I put on a set of thin leather gloves and I grabbed it and I put a shell in it and I got it. And I took both hands and pointed at the can across the creek. I pulled the trigger and it was boom. And he looked at me and said, "You son of a bitch." Said, "Don't believe everything you see. Yes, in a short pistol, this thing will walk your ass off." Right. Thompson Contender had almost a 12-inch barrel. It was heavy.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah.
That's why it is. It's a small rifle.
Well, I kind of came to the conclusion that, I also have a 357 Magnum with a 6-inch barrel.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized at one point, I said, you know what? I put wad cutters in this thing, and it's like the perfect home defense gun because I'm putting the bullets through the same hole a lot of times because it's such a longer barrel, and that light load, it's not going to penetrate a wall. So it's really a good home defense gun, and it's like shooting a 22 after a while.
Yeah, that's why I can't wait because I got these are 150th anniversary SIGs for United States Secret Service.
Oh, nice!
And it's got the star on it.
Yeah,
and these were issued. These are what they use now are the SIGs, and my dad. Was my dad's, but he was still old school because he carried the 357 Magnum.
Mm-hmm.
So when Molly said we're going to go shooting, I said I can't wait to try out.
Well, he carried a revolver though.
Oh yeah, my dad. Yeah, I got his 357.
That was probably a K-frame round butt, because I had one of those in 44, and it was an FBI gun. It was a 3-inch. That was the most firepower that they considered concealable.
Yeah,
because it was I think it was a 3 or maybe no, I don't think it was a 4-inch barrel. I think it was a 3-inch barrel, and it was on a Smith K-frame with a round butt. And all the Ks were the trooper guns. Those were the square butt, but they made it special for the FBI. And the guy that sold to me said to me, he said, listen, I just want to ask you one favor. He goes, my son ever gets his gun permit, he says, I'd like you to sell that gun back to him because he always wanted it. And, for a fair price. And I did. I said, yeah, okay. It was the only blue gun I had anyway. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go.
Yep. And then he had they went with that, and then he had his he still has his first revolver also. That's in the safe.
Right.
So yeah, but I can't wait. So I told Molly, I said, hurry up and let me know when we're going.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
yeah. Any chance to go shooting?
Yeah.
Well, the thing about the Smith & Wesson 500 is it comes with, compensator. There's a special, but anyway, the slits in the front of the barrel. So it actually blows the gas to the side. It keeps the muzzle down.
Yeah, it's not a flash. It's not a flash suppressor. It's a compensator.
No,
right.
Yeah.
What was
it keeps the barrel down, and it cuts down on the recoil slightly.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, it's the only gun you can go into Africa and shoot elephants with.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's licensed for shooting elephants. I'm not going to shoot an elephant with a pistol.
Yeah.
Those things were called, was it the Judge or what were those things? What was that thing called? They just were talking about that. Can't remember what a buddy of mine's got one of those things. Yeah.
They've all types of pistols. One of the Judge was a 44 Magnum 410. You could shoot a 410 shell through it.
Wow.
That's a lot of, the damn cylinder on the thing is, humongous.
Yeah, this was I got a whole bunch of his hollow points, but man, I'm so afraid how old these things are.
Yeah, they just smoke on you. They'll just be smoky.
Yeah. These are all government issue, I think.
Let's see. Let me ask my weapons, ammo expert, because that's what she worked in.
I bought some surplus
he's got
ammo years ago. It was just smoky.
Ammo was his dad's from when he was. What was he in?
The Secret Service.
Oh, his dad was in the Secret Service.
Yeah.
And
because like a lot of the.
Okay, so can I talk?
Oh yeah, wait a minute.
Well. No audio. No here. Oh, because I'm really curious if I can shoot these things.
Yeah, I don't see why not. revolver will eat anything, you know.
No. Because I have a whole bunch of his old speed loaders.
Uh-huh.
There we go.
Oh.
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
And he's there. Okay, basically, you want to check the ammo. You don't want any bulging cases, and you want to check the primer to make sure they're not weeping or recessed or bulged or anything. If they visibly look fine, you could probably shoot them.
It's good to know.
That's all we ever inspected for was bulging case. You know, look where the bullet is set. Make sure there's no cracks or anything around there, and nothing leaking, oozing or anything. If it looks like a bullet, shoot it.
Yeah.
They're pretty stable. They're pretty stable.
Well, that's good to know because, like I said, I have a whole bunch of his, these with in his speed loaders. He had, I don't know, 15, 20 speed loaders for the 357.
Oh, that'll be cool.
And
just take a good visual look at them, compare them all to each other, and if you see something that looks weird, then pull that one out.
Stay away.
Yeah.
That's good to know. No, I appreciate it because, like I said, I just was like, now what do I do with all this ammo laying around?
Yeah, if there's nothing, if the cases aren't bulging, you know, if there's no cracks, there's nothing leaking, the primers aren't recessed or anything like that, you can probably shoot it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's green because that's just the brass.
No, that's just the brass. But as long as it's not oozing out of the brass, if it looks really weird, don't shoot it.
Yeah. No.
Just compare them all and go from there. You know, that's all we did. Visual inspection.
Well, it sounds good to me. I will. Thanks.
That's my go-to if I have a question on ammunition.
Yeah. No, the funny part was one of those. I don't know what this was. 9mm. This was a 9mm, and it was actually with no primer in it.
Oh wow.
Huh.
That's weird.
Yeah. I was going through.
It's got a head?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Just no primer.
That's unusual.
That was one that I bought, you know, when I was buying all that ammo. And
I wonder, was somebody reloading ammo that didn't pay attention?
No, well, this was out of I mean, they're all name brand. I was a name brand cases.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was assembled. It went down the assembly line, and QC didn't pick it up.
Yeah, and it was funny because for whatever reason, I guess I was looking at them, and I said, "Man, something looks odd about this," and then I realized it didn't have a primer cap in it. I don't think there's anything in it actually.
Well, I'd tell you if you had a bullet, or not a bullet capper, but they make a little plastic hammer that you drop the shell in, tighten it up, and bang it on the bench.
Oh, yeah.
It pulls the lead out. And the first time I did that, I was terrified it was going to blow up. Come on, you don't bang bullets on a bench.
We did that in middle school. Somebody brought a shotgun shell in, and we put it in a vise and smacked the back end of it, and that thing went off, dude. And it was a mess, man. Everybody ducking, running around in the shop. Man, that was a hell of a mess, man.
Well, you didn't take all the lead and powder out. You don't put that and beat on the primer till there's nothing there.
What do you want from some stupid kids, man? The shop. Mr. Johnson was a shop teacher, and man, he gave us one hell of a talking to after that, dude. That was a real mess.
I am sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I liked where I grew up. Everybody knew that you didn't do things like that. Although we did try one time, we put a shotgun shell down on the ground and shot at the primer with a 22 trying to get it to go off.
Yeah.
We weren't that good of shots. We never hit it.
Yeah.
Because we weren't going to get close to it.
Yeah. I guess we're lucky nobody got hurt.
Sure.
It was a hell of a mess.
Oh, yes, you were.
Yeah. Yeah, those were the good old days. That's today you came and I mean, even if you mention the word gun in a school, you're like hauled off and
Oh yeah.
You'll be
never
slammed
seen
on the
again.
floor and handcuffed.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I remember going to school one day. It was a Friday. Now I didn't have a rifle rack in the back of my truck because I only had a car. I had a shotgun in the trunk and about 2 boxes of ammunition. Most everybody there had a shotgun or something in their car and ammunition. Opening day of goose season. Come on now.
Yeah.
And imagine going to school now with a
Yeah.
shotgun in your rifle rack.
Yep.
Or a rifle for that matter.
Yeah.
The world, even in Texas, the world has changed.
Yeah, it's called, like I said, it's crazy for sure.
Yes, it is. Like one of my neighbors said. He said, I didn't like some of the kids in my class. He said, but all I ever did was get beat up or beat them up. He said, I never thought about shooting them because that shotgun wasn't for shooting people. It was for shooting geese.
Right.
But times have changed a lot.
Well, that's why I get a kick I'm watching the early seasons of Adam 12 again. In the beginning, where they're doing the call out, the dispatcher, and he says, 415 fight group with chains and knives. Like that was the big thing. No, they got chains and knives. Now 4-year-olds have guns and then So those were the good old days where you could just break up a
Yeah. Well, like I said, back in my day, you were worried about a guy with a knife. I mean, a gun was like unheard of, you know.
Sure.
Yeah. And there was a few guys that said they had a gun. You never saw it, but you had that. But other than that, like I said, you were worried about getting knife stuck with something. Then, so crazy.
The days when a car antenna was a weapon.
Yeah, damn right.
When cars had antennas.
Or you carried a screwdriver around. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
right.
I never carried a screwdriver. What made you think that?
Huh?
Rod Getz took care of that in the subway in 1986 in New York City.
Well, I wasn't in cities in the 80s. I was in the country because I graduated in 69.
Yeah.
And my senior year in high school, I didn't carry anything besides a roll of dimes in my pocket. Now, they would have gotten me for that because I had them all wrapped with cellophane tape so they would hold together better.
Yeah.
Never had to use them because I was really good at running.
Well, the funny part, I look back and, 20 years ago when I started the tool business, I couldn't figure out why I sold so many ice picks. And it was always, guy, I was like, why, because I had a guy ask me, he goes, you have an ice pick? And I was like, an ice pick? And he goes, yeah, like an ice pick. And I said, yeah, I know what you're talking about. And of course, I went through the catalog, and we had them in the catalog, and they were used to, the description was for when you're doing body work, pushing on the metal, on the back side, to raise it up or push it in or whatever to get the dent, tip in there because it had a small. And so I put a couple on the truck. Man, I'm selling these things like, peanut butter jelly sandwiches. And I figured, man, if somebody gets stabbed with an ice pick, if I hear about it, I know I got to stop selling this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, if the guy was smart, he would ask for an awl.
Yeah.
I got to do upholstery work. I need to poke some holes in the vinyl.
Actually, I think that's what it was. It was under, that's right, an awl.
Yeah.
And they called it an ice pick. And the funny part was, in one of my better parts of town, I had one left, and I used to use it to hold the air vent on the top of the truck open,
Oh, yeah.
And it was funny because one day a tree had partially fallen across the road, and I drove on, the cop was directing us to drive under, and of course it skimmed the top of the truck
Oh wow.
and it knocked that all out, or the ice pick out, and I lost it. And I was so mad because it was just perfect to hold the door open, or the flap. So about 6-7 months later, in that particular intersection, there was an accident, and we were sitting there, and I was waiting to go. And for whatever reason, I looked off to the side of the road, and there was my ice pick still sitting there.
Oh wow.
So I jumped out of the truck, and the cop's like, "Get back in the truck! Get back in the." I don't know. I was like, "Wait a minute!" We're like, run across the street. I picked up the ice pick and jumped back in the truck.
Yeah.
And I went back and used it to hold the little flap door open. And I forgot all about it when I sold the truck. Now it's sitting down there, and where was that guy from? Shit. Some South American country running around delivering or smuggling people in or whatever.
Oh wow.
God, where was that I sold the truck to? Can't remember now. But it was some South America. I was like, damn it, somebody got my weapon.
We used to use them when I was helping a friend of mine dig up dinosaur fossils.
Oh,
and
wow.
we used the ice picks to get close to the bone, because with the hammer and that, too easy to hit it. So we take an ice pick and pick around it.
Wow.
Only place we could buy an ice pick, and this was 25 years ago, there was one radiator shop left in our town. And he used to use ice picks when he was working on the radiators.
Huh.
For separating the fins, and I guess plunging in the tubes and that. I don't know where you get an ice pick now.
Yeah.
And in California, I don't know if that would be. They probably consider it a weapon and go, nope, you can't have one without a special license.
Yeah. I think Ace Hardware probably would sell them.
Yeah, like I said, probably an all.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it would be now, as an all. I don't do any of that type of work anymore, so I haven't used one.
Right.
In ages.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was funny. I used to sell those things like crazy. Oh well.
Hey, times change. Nobody uses an ice pick anymore to stab anybody. They use a gun to shoot them.
Yeah, I know.
Except.
But I tell you, if you do get a block of ice, an ice pick or an all really is the perfect tool to break that thing up. You don't even have to. You just got to put it in and push, and that ice will separate.
Try finding a block of ice.
Well, yeah, we got it here by the beer docks. Well, they have the ice machines. You can get usually, blocks or cubes.
Yeah.
We get them here.
Yeah. I think one place we can get a block of ice.
Yeah.
Here? Oh, okay.
Yeah, if we have a party in the summer, I always get blocks and then chop it up and throw the beer and soda in there. And, so it was always cheaper than cubes.
Yeah.
Well, block ice lasts longer, too, because we use it when we're up in Washington, because we've got one of those ice chests that when you buy it, you cry. What's it called? Yeti.
Yeah.
Yeti. Oh, yeah.
$400.
Yeah.
Yes. And we bought one. It hurt.
Yeah.
But it does keep the ice a long time. We
Even
can
Yeti cups. They're phenomenal.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, we sell them.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
What do you think I go down the road with? My coffee's in a Yeti cup because... No, I'm sorry, in a we got Yeti cups and Yeti soda holders.
Right.
Yeah. Then we found out the knockoffs from Walmart work just as well as the Yetis.
Yeah.
They might not keep it quite as cold as long, but it's only, fractions to me. But I like them because, man, I love having my drink hot or cold for hours.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
me.
Very true.
So what are you going to have this weekend, Ray?
Got nothing lined up. Tyler wanted to come on and talk about one of his the stuntman things he was doing.
Yeah.
I want to get Eddie Lyle back on. I should reach out to Eddie because I know a while ago he said he had some shows. He was doing tool shows and he was going to be busy for a while. It's got to be past that by now.
Well, we got the next one coming up, the ISN one in Florida. That's it is in June. It's what, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
That's another big trade. So they asked me if I wanted to go, but that's another supplier for tools.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. I would love to go to a show like that, but I know if I did it, it'd be like being at a toy show. You just want to like buy everything.
Yeah, yeah. They it's. I haven't. Usually most of the ones that I've gone to, I've never been from one outside of Mako. There's you have ISN, Metco, and what was the other one? There was some tool warehouse, and there's a couple big places.
What's his name from Easy Red? Luke was talking about one a while ago.
Yeah. He all those guys, they go. Actually, I would have a hard time going to a non event or a non Mako event.
Yeah.
Because seeing what the real deal is on some of that stuff and what we get gouged.
You know what seems to be hot now is they're coming out with these sets of the oversized, the half oversized flip sockets.
Yeah.
For the swelled lug nuts.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of hitting big right now.
People we've had them for a long time. I mean, we've had them for a while. I sell a shit ton of them.
Now you have the individuals, right?
We have a set. There's a set.
Because I know I remember a couple of years ago, my nephew was asking me if I could get him a 21 and a half for his Dodge Ram, and he says, "You see a Snap-on guy, right?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, my Snap-on guy can't get it," and he had one, so I got it for him. But everything was single. Now I'm seeing these sets, which makes a little more sense.
Yeah, they have 18 and a half, 19 and a half, 21 and a half, 22 and a half.
Yeah.
What's with this half shit?
Well, on a lug nut, a lot of them, especially like a lot of Chryslers and Ford, I don't have one here, but the cap will swell up. So if it was if it's a 19 millimeter socket, it won't fit on there, and the guys are beating them on there, and of course then the socket gets stuck on the lug nut. So they made it a half size bigger so it goes on because they swell up. And the 18 and a half is because if the cap falls off, and if you put a 19 on there, and then when you go to take it off, sometimes it will turn in the socket and get stuck. And then the lug nut's stuck inside the socket.
That must be some of these newer vehicles, because my old Ford is a 17 millimeter, and that's it.
Yeah,
it's I don't have a lug nut down here like that.
No, when you get one like that, it's tough to get it off unless you have that right socket.
Yeah, and then of course a lot of guys will take and they'll say, they'll take a 20 millimeter socket and use it, and of course it's a hair too big, but it will work to get it off. It's just slapping around, beating the socket up.
Well, one thing I've learned: if it doesn't fit right, don't use it. Damn it. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to be getting anything new enough to do that because all I got is old stuff, and I'm going to stay with it.
With the tried and true testing.
Yes.
Right.
And I'm talking about vehicles, not tools.
Yeah. That's true. I can't believe I don't have a lug nut down here.
Well, guys, I'm going to have to get out of here because nature's calling and everything else. So,
Yeah.
All right, Papa Squirrel.
we'll see you all next week.
Will
You
do.
got it. Be safe. Be careful.
Will do.
Yep.
Right.
I don't know.
Oh man. Yeah. So what's on the slate for tomorrow? I wonder what happened to John tonight.
I don't know. I didn't even see him if he. I don't know if his back. I don't know how that's going.
You know, I talked to him earlier in the week. I forget what day it was. Oh, on Monday. No, on Monday. I sent him a text and I said to him, "Yeah, I hope that I hope your doc prescribes losing weight instead of having an operation."
Yeah.
And then he says, "I'll call you in a minute." He called me a little while later. He says they ran him around, sent him to the wrong place, so he had to go someplace else, and he had another appointment during the week. So I said, "Yeah, they're gonna have to do an MRI, of course, to see what they're looking at."
Yeah.
I said, "John, the big thing is you can, they always say if you can lose weight first, you'd be surprised how much better your back can feel because you're taking that strain off of it.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a problem, like if you have a compressed disc or a degenerative disc,
that and your knee, all that, your knees, all that stuff.
Right.
I know, of course, it's an ongoing battle for me between fluctuating and getting weight, trying to keep the weight off. And when I go through my losing more than what I normally, I tell you, I really feel better.
Yeah.
Especially in my hips and knees. And that pounding up, you don't realize that pounding up and down those steps, climbing in and out of that damn truck, man. It's just brutal on those joints.
Yeah. So
it's kind of like kicking on those concrete floors all day,
Right. So that's what I said to him. I said, you can maybe take matters into your own hand. And I said to him, when you had your knees done, you lost weight. You did. You lost like 30 pounds, and then you put it back.
Yeah.
But because it's hard. I know it's hard to, we eat what we like. It's part of life. You don't want to have to not enjoy what you're eating. So.
Yeah, I was the other day. I had to stop by and get 2 slices from that pizza joint place, and one of them was. I don't understand. Well, I know that's because of during lunchtime, and they're just pumping pizzas out,
Uh-huh.
And one of them was like I said, it was just right. When you folded it, it cracked,
Nice.
and the other one, of course, I don't know. It was still kind of warm, but I don't know because it's sitting, it gets a little greasy. And of course, when I went to fold it, it didn't really, it was a little softer.
Yeah.
But, man, I felt bad after eating that. I was like, damn it. I said, man, I shouldn't be eating this stuff.
I know.
But it is what it is, right?
What are you going to do?
So.
Oh, I told John that it was on, I think it was Sunday when I came home from the show. Yeah, I think my wife was out, and I got a little hungry. I said, I got to make something quick. I'm like, you know what? I make some grilled cheese. I got some American cheese. I got some Swiss cheese. I got mozzarella cheese. I'll do like a 3 cheese. And I said, you know what? Where's the mayonnaise? I said, give me the mayonnaise. So I mayonnaise the bread, threw on my flat skillet, and I was doing something else. I was like washing some dishes, so I didn't watch it close.
Yeah.
So the bread got kind of burn.
Yeah.
But the
It
thing I
burns
noticed
quicker.
was, like, unlike with butter, nothing was bubbling. It wasn't smoking. And I was like, so I didn't have any kind of vision, like a sensory. But I gotta say, I had it, and it didn't taste any different. It definitely didn't taste worse. I see that it cooked different. So next time I'm gonna do it again, but I'm gonna watch it this time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you gotta watch it. It cooks. It cooks a lot faster.
So,
I mean,
and the problem I have is when I use the 3 cheeses, they all kind of heat, I think, at different rates.
yeah.
So it's harder to get the inside totally melted. I'm constantly flipping. And then I found, like, if I cut it in half and do it in halves, that kind of helps a little bit.
Sometimes I cheat here, and I have the toaster oven on. So what I'll do is
that's what John said too. He does the same thing.
I grill them up, and then of course I already have the toaster oven preheated or whatever, warmed up, and then I'll send them through the toaster oven, and then pretty much that's just to make sure that everything is melted.
Right. I said, hey, you know what? For the first time out of the box, it wasn't perfect. I wasn't disappointed. I realized I got to practice the technique a little more.
Yeah.
And I had to say, I took the leap of faith because I said, hey, you know what? I've never done this. And in my head, I'm thinking, if this sucks, I'm like, what's it? 3 pieces of cheese and a couple slices of bread. Big deal. I'll make something else. But I was not.
You'll say, I won't listen to that tool guy anymore.
But I wasn't disappointed. I was just, like I said, I wasn't paying close attention because I was doing something else while it cooked. So
you can't. Yeah, you can't. It's pretty quick.
Right.
And yeah.
But yeah, pretty cool. I was like I said, as soon as when I use butter, it always just starts bubbling and the butter starts burning and all too. And there's your visual right there that it's getting too hot.
Yeah.
And I didn't have. I was like, wow, it doesn't do that. That's crazy. I never saw that before.
The only problem that you'll have, or the only thing that you have to watch out for, it's like if you're doing, like, let's say, like, well, I have a special pan that I use, and it's kind of small. It's like one of those egg pans, bowl, plate,
skillet, like a
skillet thing,
fry pan, yeah.
And usually that's what I usually use. It's I don't know, it's 6 inches maybe,
6 or an 8 probably.
It's pretty small.
Okay,
that's why I like it. I mean, and like I said, usually, but so I can only do one sandwich at a time usually.
Right.
And what you got to sometimes watch out for is like when you mayonnaise it all up, if it's super hot still and you put it down, it starts cooking before you even get anything on there.
Right.
So, for the golden brown texture, you kind of have to like wait a little bit to let it cool down and get it all set up and going, because you'll start cooking or it'll start browning.
That's the thing. My wife always uses a frying pan, and she always has trouble getting in there and flipping it because of so I always use my flat skillet pan because it's just, there's no sides. It's so much easier to get in there with a spatula. I do my eggs on that and, everything.
Yeah, it's funny because usually like and I should know better because like I'll make one for me, and of course once they smell it, it's like, hey, can you keep me? That's why, because I do have one of those bigger flat skillet, and if I'm making it for more than one, I'll use that.
Right.
The one thing I find with that is that, especially like, it depends on what you got to pick the right burner because of the size. If it's not big enough, the heat really is off. The heat doesn't, the center of it's so much hotter than on the sides.
It's kind of cool. The stove we bought, it's GE gas stove. and it has like 2 regular burners in the back, but the front left has a real wide burner. It's a circle, but it's probably like a 4-inch circle. And that thing, that gets like the whole bottom of a teapot or whatever. And the right side has that 4-inch with a little 2-inch in the middle of it. They call it like power boil. So you put a big thing of water on there, like a big pot of water, and put it up to power boil, and both of those light up. So it heats the middle of the pot directly, as well as coming out from the sides. And we don't use that one too much.
Yeah.
But and then in the middle, I have a center, because I have a center. It's a center. It's a grill, but I can take that out and put in a solid griddle, like a flat top.
Oh yeah,
griddle.
yeah.
You're doing pancakes or doing eggs or whatever, and that's got an oval burner. It's not as powerful though, the oval one, but it'll heat a bigger pan.
Yeah.
Across. So.
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like. Like I said, when I use that square one, but that I don't know what size. I don't know if that thing's a 4-inch pan. It's great to when I'm grilling onions and all that stuff.
Right.
It's just that's my go-to. I have 2 of them.
Yeah.
I feel like a short order cook when I'm doing it, because I got 3 of them lined up.
Right.
And everything. The girls usually roll their eyes, because when it's their dish night and they ask me how many dishes how many pots and pans that I have to use to cook. So yeah, tonight was spaghetti, and Brianna was like, "Oh, it's my night," and she goes, "How many did you?" I was really good. I only used 2.
Okay. Good. That's good.
So, I heard her up there banging them around, so I guess it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Usually I get a text and she says, "You can come up and help me clean your mess up." Yeah. So
nice.
I don't know. So how's everything up in your way with the shops? I mean, like, have you talked to anybody at the shop up there? I mean, you guys been busy or what?
It's hit or miss. It's kind of sketchy here and there. Now, like everything else, like everywhere else, where people are pulling back because of money. A lot of times, they don't bring the car in for maintenance.
Yeah.
And newer cars, face it, they don't need as much maintenance. So yeah, people they start slacking off on that when everything gets tight like it is, and but it depends. I guess it's all regional, because like people that have a little bit of money and have nicer cars, they tend to take care of them a little better.
Yeah.
And then the people that are living, that have less, the car isn't going to get the attention.
Right. No. But I mean, I have a lot of shops. It's crazy because, like I said, the last 2 weeks, especially, they've been really off. I mean, I've walked into a lot of empty shops.
Yeah.
And they really haven't done much. But from talking to a lot of the owners, they were like, it's amazing because at the end of the week, the numbers are still there, but they're doing such big jobs.
Oh, okay.
Everything is, I don't know. I don't know if it was Chris that said it or something, but he was talking about like the average repair was, I don't know if it was from you guys or somebody else, but they were saying like this average repair thing was like $400 or something, $300 or something. And I'm like, there's no way, because all my shops, man, they're hitting $2,000 on these junkers,
Wow.
So
well, yeah, it adds up. So if guys aren't doing other stuff and you catch it along with the other things,
yeah.
But now they talk about this baby formula shortage is ridiculous. They're saying that they had to stop it, and even if they could start again, it will be 2 weeks till they get back up to speed. And they're talking about being 6 weeks out on distribution. It's like, how does that happen in this country?
Right.
How the hell does that happen?
Yeah.
And I read in the paper the other day that Biden said, well, yeah, I feel your pain. Bullshit. You don't feel our pain.
Oh, I know.
You do not feel our pain.
Well, that was like you said. That a lot of. We're seeing that on like a lot of our stuff because, like, I don't know, it was a couple weeks ago. I must have gotten like $8,500 worth of back order stuff that just piled up.
Oh, great.
And it's like it's hard to manage and it's hard to stay in a budget. But
right.
then of course half the guys don't want the stuff anymore.
Yeah.
And you kind of in the middle of a jam on that. But I've noticed that, the stuff rolling in and they were saying it's just like you said. Now when you talk to somebody, they say, oh, well, we're 3 weeks out on that and it's going to take 2 weeks for, delivery time. And they've gotten pretty good, in 6 weeks, man, you get slammed with a whole bunch of stuff. It's kind of, I can't say I don't want to really jinx myself, but it's like, okay, well, I can't order anything for this week because next week I'm going to get hammered,
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy that you're trying to run a business that way. But a lot of people say the same thing about even if we get what we need to do to make that product, we're still X amount of time out.
Right.
And you just wonder how in the world could that happen? Or
my wife's in Walmart today, so I said, listen, pick up a gallon of Dexcool coolant. I need a gallon of Dexcool. So she calls me. She goes, I found it was like the premix. I said, no, I want the concentrate. She's looking. She goes, no, there's none here. I said, there's no Dexcool concentrate on the shelf. I said, I don't care what brand, any brand. I said, and she's like, no, there's nothing. I said, holy shit, really? That's what's going on, man.
I wanted to change the oil in the tool truck last week, and when I went to Walmart, they didn't have anything.
Yeah,
there was no, and so hopefully this weekend they have it, or if not, I really hate to go out. It's got to get done, but I just hate spending the money.
I just read an article.
Price difference.
I just read an article in AARP magazine. They were talking about people using like wish lists on like Google or on Amazon. And I got one on Amazon too. And they said that they found their data shows that people who put stuff on a wish list are less apt to buy the stuff. And they said the reason is if you're looking at something and it pops up however you find it, and you you just impulse buy it. It's like, I want it, I'm going to buy it. But they say if you put it on a wish list and then you come back and you look at it, now you got to do two things. You had to put it there in the first place. So now you got to open the list and then you got to think of it again. And now you're already looking at other stuff maybe. So they say people are less likely to buy if they save it on a wish list.
Yeah.
And I was telling my wife, I said, just see, once again, I'm the exact opposite of what they found.
Yeah.
I said, I use my wish list as a placeholder. So I'll put stuff on an Amazon wish list. And now just the other day, I had to get something. I know I had to buy 2 more of those router satellites. So while I was on Amazon anyway, I said, let me open my wish list. Let me scan through here because some stuff I've bought and I'll delete it. And I'll use it like now when it's a dead zone, and I'll just buy like 3 or 4 things I had on the wish list. I'm like, oh, good. Okay, let me take those now. And one of the things I bought was this. It's a dedicated funnel, an oil funnel for Toyota vehicles because it threads into the valve cover. And my friend Kevin had got one and showed it to me. I'm like, that is cool because I got my Toyota, and now my daughter's got the RAV4. I'm like, that's great. I said, it's got a threaded. Buying that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
especially on some of them, especially the V6 ones.
Well, yeah,
they have that plate, and
right?
You try to pour the oil in, it makes a hell of a mess.
Actually, my wife's Chevy Cruze has that the Ecotec engine that's got the plate in it. I want to go and take the damn thing out. My Toyota isn't so bad, but I can see the cam lobes are right there.
Yeah.
You
know, the funnel that you got, does the pieces like, are they individual and they snap on the bottom?
No, they're individual. The funnel is blue, and then it's got like a clear shaft, and the funnel threaded onto the shaft, and then the whole thing threads into the valve cover. But that's that manufacturer. There may be other ones.
Yeah, no, I was just curious because we have Austin Mockers, one of them. Those are fairly expensive, and they have ones where the tips change, and then Lyle makes one now.
Yeah,
and like I said, if you had the funnel, all you had to do is buy the adapter for the wife's car.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I don't think this one was made that way. But
that's why I was wondering. They're on the other side. I can't get to on the other side of the garage here. I'll have to send you a picture and see if, because like I said, then all I got to do is get the right GM one,
right?
And then you can use that funnel, because I hate that stupid plate in that.
Yeah. No, definitely.
You want to talk about taking an ice pick to it so it drains. I mean, so that it will siphon down or drain faster. You know,
pain in the ass. You're right.
God, I hated those things.
Yeah. So I had saved an OTC. I don't know. You know what? I found it. I think I saw it on Instagram, and then I looked it up. It's a grease fitting. It's like a 2-inch barrel that locks onto the Zerk fitting, and then your grease gun goes on to that, so it locks on like an air chuck would lock on. You got to have enough room to use it. That's the only thing. And but it was like $45 for this thing. I'm like, man, that's a lot for a grease fitting.
Yeah.
So as I was looking around, I found this OTC kit of different grease fittings, adapters for your grease gun, and I think it was like $60. I put that in the wish list. I said, you know what? I was going to buy that OTC kit, and I went in, and of course it said not available right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, it figures.
Huh. Yeah, they.
I did buy $80 worth of CDs from another place though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Music. I can't stop it. I can always buy.
They have. Yeah, I just read where they're re-releasing the first 6 from in vinyl on Van Halen. David Lee Roth
nice
thing.
I have all the originals. I have all my originals.
They're going to do the first 6, and then they're supposed to do when they're going to do another with Sammy or whatever. I can't believe I noticed that Target, even at Walmart, I noticed that they were up to like 4 rows of vinyl.
Yeah, Walmart's selling vinyl now. A lot of them, they're like $20 albums. They're getting $20 for them, but a lot of them are 180 gram. It's the thicker vinyl.
Yeah. And the other day I was looking, and I was like, God, I don't even want to start that back up again. I mean,
see, I have
a lot of vinyl. I have a lot of vinyl.
Yeah, I got a record store that I go to. It's a used record store.
And
I tell you, I haven't gotten a record from that guy that had a flaw in it. His stuff is he cleans everything, and he inspects everything, and the bad stuff, he doesn't sell it. So I like going there.
Yeah. I don't even have a record player anymore. I finally realized that I don't know what I don't know. I shouldn't say that. It has to, I don't ever remember getting rid of it. It still has to be at my parents' house. It still has to be in my old room.
Yeah, maybe.
Or I know a lot of the stuff. My room eventually turned into the guest room. If my mom's sister, my aunt came up or whatever, right. Or when my brother comes home, because his old room turned into kind of our storage.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I got rid of it.
It's probably there somewhere in a closet or something.
buried in there.
Yeah.
That's you know, my mom's slowly going through certain things, and that's not going to be fun cleaning that out when that time comes.
No.
Hell, I can't even imagine me cleaning. It's taken me forever, and I know you see more and more space, but man, for me to clean out what I've been doing is just incredible, dude.
I'm living in a warehouse down here, and my wife keeps saying, we're talking about moving. I'm like, moving? Holy shit! Because I said, I can't even think about that right now. It's like, come on, one disaster at a time. One disaster at a time.
Yeah. Jenny said something the other day about she, said, well, what about if we did? And I'm like, man, I'd love to, but God, I couldn't even imagine trying to go through all this stuff.
Right.
It's crazy.
No, I hear you.
And actually, you like I said, it was funny because here in the garage, I did the same thing. I have a whole bunch of those, Mighty and knee-off cabinets.
Yeah.
I've got, I don't know, 10, 15 of those things that I had, and I was going to put them on the wall to put stuff in them, and they ended up on the floor. And, of course, everything got piled around it that's supposed to go in the cabinet.
I know.
And it's like, if I just clean out and put them back on the wall, then put the stuff that's sitting on top of it that's supposed to go in there.
Yeah.
I know. That's, I have, like I said, the one with all my electrical stuff in it and the rivets and set screw, not set screws, but, thread setters and all that stuff.
Yeah, nut certs. Yeah.
Nut certs, all that stuff. And it's like, I can get to it. I know where it is. It's sitting on top of the cabinet that it's supposed to be in.
Right.
It's close. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know, Ray.
I don't know.
So,
all right. Time to go throw the garbage out.
Yeah, I got a few things to clean up before midnight. I had this new system I got is just crazy.
Yeah.
New operating system, and it's just it's not very user friendly. Especially, well, I know part of the problem. The old system I used for 20 years, so it's just I try not to knock it too bad. You got to learn the system, Yeah. And
the new one kicked me off.
Yeah. So I got to straighten a few tickets before the end of the day so I can close out.
Yeah.
So, all right, Ray, will you be safe? Take it easy,
Brian.
And can't wait for Sunday.
Yeah. So for Lewis Lee, Ray Guarino, Matt Gumman, Brian. Yeah, we'll be doing Motor Mouth Radio on Sunday. We'll be talking about something. We'll see what goes on, and then
maybe I'll go fishing.
Yeah, good, cool. Yeah, give us a call. That's a great story. So what do we say on the way out? Since John isn't here tonight, you got to take the helm.
Don't follow us home, and or bring zingers. No, not zingers. What was that?
Ring dings.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right, Brian.
All right, Ray, take it easy.
All right.